It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Jeff's here, Stacy's here, Ant's here. Yay, the whole gang's here. I'm back. Lots to talk about. Google denies the rumors that the Pixel 5a is canceled. I guess that's good news. We'll ooh and ah over the rumored Pixel Watch. Why Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T just can't get it together while Project Chip can. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig. This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 607, recorded Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. Let's go to the terminal. This episode of This Week in Google is brought to you by the Enterprise Tech 30. The Enterprise Tech 30 is a definitive list of the 30 most promising B2B startups, as determined by over 100 venture capitalists and 20 corporate development teams. Visit enterprisetech30.com to see 2021's winners. And by Linode. Simplify your cloud infrastructure and cut your cloud bills in half. Get started on Linode today with a $100 free credit. Text TWIT to 474747 or visit linode.com/twig and click on the Create Free Account button to get started. It's time for Twig, This Week at Google. The show where we cover the latest news from the Googleverse, the Twitterverse, the Facebookverse, the Mediaverse. Stacy Higginbotham is here. Hello, Stacy. Good to see you. Stacy on IoT.com. She's very excited. She has something. Stickers.
I have lots of things.
Yeah, stickers. New stickers. I'm giving you a chance to show the new stickers.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was pre-show fun. I'm not trying to market.
She's like me. She doesn't want to market. She doesn't want. Those are so cute.
They're cute.
It's the logo from the website, but it's cut out. It's die cut. So, that's great. I want some. I love
cute.
that. I'll put them.
And
on
they're
my
little
laptop.
zeros
Very
and
nice.
ones. My friend Biz designed this for me after GigaOM blew up.
It's the podcast
She did
logo.
such a great job. So.
It is also the podcast logo, the IoT podcast you do with Kevin Toffel. Stacy on IoT. That is a great logo. Yeah, I like it that it's die cut. I think that was really smart. Yeah.
It was fancy.
Yeah, fancy.
Yeah, definitely.
That's Jeff Jarvis. I hear Jeff Jarvis's voice. Hello, Jeff Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Hello, buzzmachine.com. Hello. And former TV guy.
Gutenberg Day.
I almost, you know what? I was going to surprise you and say, Google Gutenberg, and you will see something. Before we Google Gutenberg, let's say hello to Ant Pruitt from Hop, Hands-On Photography. Hello, Ant. How are you?
Unbelievable as always.
See, always in a good mood. I've been seeing a lot of football footage on your Instagram feed of late.
Why, yes, you have.
Proud dad.
Proud dad.
Very proud. And the season's winding down this week.
They're playing it late because they couldn't do it in the fall.
Right. It was all of the COVID protocols. So they gave them a partial season this spring. Now, granted, there are other sports that are happening right now as well. But they did give them a chance to play 5 games now.
That's cool.
You would enjoy it, Jeff, because the tennis players are practicing with the football players. And it adds to the fun of the game that you have to dodge people.
That's one way to work on agility.
You tackle the server.
Yeah.
What other sports do the hardheads play?
They both enjoy track and field, as well as football. But my youngest hardhead also enjoys soccer. But he's not going to do soccer because it's during track season, and track is.
What are their track and field events?
My oldest hardhead, he's a quarter miler, but I think he could be a good half miler too if he wants to try it. But I don't know if he wants to try it. He's claiming he wants to try to get into the 200.
Nice.
I mean, he's fast, but that's the hardest.
He's on the JV.
Race on the. Pardon?
He's on the JV. No, the seniors is the track.
Right, seniors varsity. Okay. He wants to do the 200, but I'm trying to tell him, no, dude, just go to the half mile and the quarter mile because you'll excel there. 200 is a hard race.
Here you go.
It is.
Here you go. He's going. He might be.
He's fast.
He could be. He's going all the way.
That's
the freshman.
And that's the freshman hardhead.
That's the freshman hardhead.
Jumper.
And then is this the senior hardhead?
Let's see. It's the freshman that's been having. Yeah, that's the freshman. He's been tearing it up these last couple of weeks.
So he's a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. I love the music you put to this. Here, let's watch some more highlights. I'm really enjoying this. Here we go.
Well, see, now this was a lesson learned video.
Lesson learned video. Don't let somebody sneak up behind you.
Just watch what happens.
Whoa!
He fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball. And
Dad, can't you kill that video?
Yeah, really? Did you really?
Nope. Nope. It's a lesson learned.
See, I was saying he was a nice guy, but now I'm thinking,
Yeah.
It's a teachable moment.
Yeah, but not. You don't have to share the teachable moment with. Well, of course, you. To be honest, to be fair,
no,
you
it's
show
a teachable moment. I mentioned it even in the post because that was Cardinal Newman. You know how great they are.
They are a tough team.
They're really good.
Yeah.
And Hardhead fumbled the ball right there. They got the ball back and immediately went down the field and scored. So essentially his fumble led to a touchdown.
Oh, God.
And he was bent out of shape over it. And I had to tell him, I pretty much went down to the sideline and yelled at him, say, look, don't act like this is the first time you've ever fumbled or the last time you've ever fumbled. This is life. Suck it up. Get back out there and go ball.
Oh, man.
Where's our Real Talk with Aunt Pruitt show? Because that's...
Yeah, exactly.
It's a short show. It's pretty brief. But
this is life. Suck it up.
Suck it up.
This is life. You're going to screw up. But what matters is how do you bounce back from screwing up? Because I've screwed up a gazillion times in my life.
Yeah.
And still painful.
No shame to screw up.
It makes me feel better because I used to tell my daughter, I'm like, come on, suck it up. You're fine. You got this. And one day she turns to me because I was upset about something and she's like, just suck it up, Mom. And I was like, oh, that's harsh.
Ow.
You know, and
so now I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have been saying that to my 8-year-old kid.
My kids, I never said suck it up and they're complete failures. So you're doing the right thing.
And you're making me feel better.
We had a recent conversation here in the house because I hate losers. And I know that sounds harsh, but I played ball on a lot of losing teams coming up as a kid, and there's a certain loser language that I know it as soon as I hear it from whoever starts to speak it. And prior to that Newman game, Hardhead came home and was telling me this and telling me that about this player and that player.
Excuses.
And it was this is before the game. Before the game even started.
Okay.
And I said, look, this sounds like loser language. And I got pissed off. I said, you haven't even played the game yet, and you're already defeated. You can't go through life that way. And we all had to have our little come to Jesus moment here in the Pruitt house because I went in on all three of them. Went in on Queen Pruitt and the other boy too because I hate loser talk. I hate loser mentality. I hate feeling defeated. We all got a fighting chance. Just some people have different advantages or whatever, but please just keep fighting. Don't just give in right out the gate.
Can I share a victory for my son?
Please do.
Please.
His TikTok, for some reason, this video got 415,000 likes.
Go ahead, Hank.
He's doing cooking, salt_Hank. He changed it from sodium_deficiency. He decided he was going to embrace the salt. But the funny thing is he has COVID while he's doing this, right? Which is a shame because I can't eat any of this soup. And I think the reason he got so many views is because of this. Those tomatillos look good. Oh,
look at
Jeff, doesn't that look good?
Wow, that does.
Go ahead, Hank.
Oh. He's putting the chicken in.
Oh.
Now listen here. Listen to him.
I wish you could smell this and then you tell me what it smells like.
It doesn't sound that. I think I'm having that. He can't smell anything. Poor kid.
Oh,
he did sound
Why
a
would
little
you
bit
put that much
high-pitched.
effort into making something that you can't
So
eat?
Jennifer,
He
his mom,
smell it. Oh,
says
bless
my
his heart.
refrigerator is full of food that I can't eat because he's sick. Anyway, 43,000 likes, but almost 500,000 views. I don't know how you get to that many views on that.
Go ahead, Hank. That's what's up.
Go ahead, Hank.
How's he feeling? How's he doing?
He's sucking it up. No, he's feeling much better. he's feeling. It was.
You don't tell them that when they're sick.
No. Suck it up. Get out of there. Go out and play football.
I have.
It's when they're whining, you tell them.
No. He had one bad day where he said, I felt like I did 12 rounds in the ring. Next day, he's up and around. Day after that, he still can't smell anything. That's why he was saying that in the video. Now he can. He's fine. He's feeling much better. It was 5 days, and he was.
How's the smell? Is the smell back?
Smells back.
Oh, good. Oh,
so he's young. He's 26. He got the minor version. I got the second shot today, so at any point I could just pass out right now. And Aunt, you better not say suck it up. Anyway, getting back to the very important birthday today, Jeff, happy birthday. If you go
it's not really a birthday, but who cares?
It's an
anniversary.
Recognizable.
So if you go to Google.com. I don't know why they chose
now, because no one knows exactly the year or the time.
So it's just celebrating. Show my screen.
In fact, 1400. He was born sometime, give or minus.
They don't even know the year.
4 years from 1400. They don't even know the year. They chose 1400 because it'll be convenient for celebrations.
Okay, and he died on February 3rd, 1468. We know that.
Yes.
But we don't know when he was
it down
born.
And printed it.
He should have printed it.
His name he never put his own name in print.
That's not his real name?
No, he was born Johann von Gensfleisch, which means goose flesh, goose meat.
I got the Gensfleisch. Just hearing that.
Gensfleisch.
Zuladen zum Gutenberg.
Yeah. So, but in that time, you often took the name of the building you lived in, and he lived in the Gutenberg. Gutenberg means good mountain. Gutenberg mountain.
Yeah, last names are a relatively recent invention, aren't they?
In a sense, yeah. So
that's why Stacey's
he was known by many
called
first names. Johann,
she
Hannah.
lived in Higginbotham or something.
There was,
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Stacey. Stacey's birthday was Monday. That's a real birthday. Yeah. Did you have fun? Did you do something fun?
I had a migraine, but that's okay.
That's not fair. That's not right.
Did you eat something good?
I did. So my daughter actually today made me my birthday cookies.
Oh.
Yay.
And then I got sushi. Yay.
Yay. Both excellent.
I was excited.
I have gas station sushi every Wednesday.
Where do you actually get the sushi?
No, it's from I love just calling it gas station sushi.
I know. I love that too.
Because you can. There are gas stations in town where you could buy sushi. I wouldn't.
Please don't.
There's a nice Japanese restaurant across the street.
Okay.
Anyway, happy birthday, Stacey. It's
Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm not going to ask you which birthday it is.
I'm 43. I am not shy about sharing.
You don't look a day over 42.
You do not look it.
No, you actually.
Thank
if you'd asked me, I would have said 32. Easy, right? But no, that's great. Congratulations. 43 is a wonderful age.
Oh, is it Scooter X seems to be indicating that it may be his birthday as well?
What?
Oh, go ahead.
So many of us have
April
birthdays
12th.
on the 12th of April.
Is it your birthday, Scooter X? Was it your birthday on Monday? Well, happy birthday. Scooter X is our chat moderator, one of our chat moderators. He's a wonderful
Scooter
guy.
X.
Yeah, I really love Scooter. Okay, the chit chat portion of the program is over.
Everybody tune out. We're going to talk about Google now.
I like that. Call me crazy, but that's the part of the show I enjoy the most. Of course, it's chit chatting about me. So, what a surprise.
Well, shall we talk about phones?
Let's.
Or no?
So
I see
there's a lot to talk about. We did the puzzle last week for Google I/O. We don't know when they're going to announce the Pixel 5a 5G, but that might make sense to do it then. There was a rumor last week that it had been killed, that it wasn't going to do it. But Google,
which makes sense coming from Google.
Google, in response, sent the following official statement. The Pixel 5a 5G, which would normally come out around this time, will be available later this year in the U.S. and Japan only, and announced in line with when last year's A series phone was introduced. In line with when last... Who wrote that? Not Steakums. That's
hey, watch it, my friend Steakums.
No, I'm not. I'm saying good things about Steakums. He would never have written a sentence like that.
Oh.
Well, hey, Jeff, you're a professor. It will be available later this year in the U.S. and Japan and announced in line with when last year's A series phone was introduced.
That's pretty awful.
I mean, I understand what he's trying to say, but
yeah, exactly.
It's awkward.
Someone was trying to do a word count.
Oh, it could have been. Yeah, they were hoist by the word count. So they announced the last one in August 2020, so it'd be around August, I guess. Could be earlier, could be later. But there you go.
I could be up for a new phone by then.
Well, we
don't really know
love
if I
the
want a 5G
4A,
phone.
right? The 4A. Yeah,
I have a 3.
4A is quite nice.
4A is wonderful. The thing is, good luck getting a phone that's not 5G. No, of course you don't need a 5G phone, but good luck getting one that's not.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it just comes with the territory.
I guess I feel like I want to wait a year because I always, when they add the radios, the battery life is going to be kind of sucky.
The first 5G phones were more than a year ago, so you're in good shape.
Oh,
we understand it.
It's time, Stacey.
Although remember Verizon's suggestion that for better battery life, disable 5G.
Yeah.
So you might be right.
Maybe I'll wait a little longer.
Now, I wonder when they're going to do there's another product that we're starting to hear rumors about. In fact, Dave Phelan, writing for Forbes, where he writes about consumer tech, says the Google Pixel Watch leaks with dazzling looks to challenge the Apple Watch.
True that.
Are they? Were you dazzled?
I think I was dazzled.
That's nice.
That is nice.
I'm still like, what is it going to be? An Android Wear device?
I guess so. It has to be, right? Unless
Fitbit.
It's right. They just the Fitbit acquisition's gone through. What if it's a Fitbit?
I've worn a Fitbit since 2011, and I've tried almost every wearable out there, and I always come back to Fitbit.
This is the render. It's not a picture. A render from John Prosser, the fairly accurate rumor guy. So for people listening, what is it that you like about this?
It's not a stupid square watch. It's round like a watch should be.
I like it because
I don't
it's
have
flat.
a problem with the shape being square or round.
Yeah. Android Wear watches.
Nice guy,
Android Wear watches have almost always been round compared to the stupid pill shape of the iPhone.
Yeah, see, even Leo thinks it's stupid.
No, it's crazy. It looks like a big fat metal pillow on your wrist. But functionality-wise, the Apple Watch is spectacular, and that's the problem. And that's why Android Wear has been laggardly. They just can't compete. It's been Fitbit and then Apple Watch, and then slowly Fitbit went down and Apple Watch went up. And I think Apple Watch is easily the dominant, not only smartwatch, but wristwatch in the world. Not saying much. It's like saying we're the best buggy whips money can buy. Go ahead.
I didn't see a price and guess on this, and I hope it would be something affordable the way OnePlus's was, but have a much better review after it, because Mr. Howe had the OnePlus, and he talked about it on All About Android, and
his hot review comes out this week as well. Yeah,
not so.
He didn't
good.
like it.
Not
how
so
much
good.
was the OnePlus again?
$150. I was ready to pull the trigger on that. I want that. It looked great. But
Jason, what didn't you like about? He's in our chat room. What didn't you like about the OnePlus? Well, you tell me, Ant, because you watched the.
Well, the first thing that immediately pops up in my head is it's not an always-on display. It's a watch. Why do I have to tap it?
That's a big problem. Yeah,
to see what time it is. And then there wasn't an app store for it, so you're very limited on some of the app functionality versus what the other smartwatches have. And performance-wise, it had its moments of being quick and moments of not so quick.
Right. Jason's capsule review in 5 words: excellent design, software is half-baked.
There you go.
This is pretty. And if it were Android,
software can be fixed.
Sure, it can easily, right, with a download. I think this is pretty because it looks thin. It's round, but we don't know how big. It might be pretty big.
I wish it were along the lines of that 46 millimeter, like the OnePlus would be.
A big round watch.
Watches.
Yeah, big round watch.
I would like it to come in 2 sizes then. Because 46, I was like. This is a dinner plate I'm wearing.
You don't want a saucer on your wrist.
Look like Biggie. What is it? Biggie Smalls. Who wears a big watch around his neck?
Oh, that was Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav, of course. You knew it right away.
Of course. Legend.
I'm wondering about the band. This doesn't look like it's detachable. I would hope it would be. That's one of the things the Apple Watch does really, really, really well.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't.
But this is a render.
Well, but this is a rendering. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Who knows? It could be ugly and clunky, and we don't know.
Well,
and I don't know if I think I'm off the watch thing. I don't know that I'm going to be hankering for it.
Well, all you young people
love a good watch.
I'm with Miss Stacy. Just I'd like a good functional watch.
But you want one that's always
being
on,
able to,
so you can see.
I like looking at my screen, so I don't want it actually to be always on. And here's why: because if it's always on at night when I'm wearing it, because I wear mine for sleep tracking, it annoys my husband.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Glows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I used to have to wear. I actually used to own. I still own them. What are those called? Sweatbands. And I would wear a sweatband over my watch to keep it dark.
Oh, wow.
So I'd go to bed at night like Richard Simmons.
Sweatbands and leg warmers.
But I actually think it's really neat if you look at like what Apple's doing with Apple Fitness, tying your wearable to like your workouts in a really complete way. If you look at what's that, there's a program you pay $150 for a coach that's delivered via an app, and they like monitor you from your Apple Watch. What is it called? Aunt, surely you know what this is called.
But that's an invasion of privacy.
No. You sign up for it and give them and the reason you do it is they'll like, if it's like 4:00 and they're like, Stacey, you are sitting on your butt all day. I'll be like, oh no, my coach knows I'm sitting on my butt all day. I got to go work out.
That's good.
I've heard about that. I don't know the service though.
I have a picture of Stacey from, this is what she looks like when she goes to bed, just so everybody's prepared. That's Flavor Flav with his big old clock hanging around his neck. Why do we always need to know what time it is, really?
Because some of us are always busy doing something.
Oh, you got places to be?
Yeah. I was going to say.
Not necessarily. I can't say I have places to be, but I usually have things to do.
Here's the picture I should have used.
That's Stacey with attitude.
Ready for bed. Wow. That's a trademark. Giant clock around your neck. Yeah.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. All right. Well, we'll watch. I'm thrilled. First of all, Google's doing I/O this year because it really felt like last year was kind of almost a lost year for Google.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll announce a watch. I'm hoping they'll announce, for your sake, Jeff, a Pixel book.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's the least you could do for me for after you abused me all these years for being your workspace paying customer you abuse. The least you could do for me is make a Pixel book.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeff, they're selling Chromebooks, not Pixel books. So why are they going to continue to push Pixel
Well, it's
books?
a Chromebook. It's just a Chromebook named a Pixel book.
It's their special.
It's the good kind.
Special Pixels.
Maybe you should watch the Samsung Unpacked event, which is 2 weeks off, April 28th. They didn't say what it is, but judging by that picture and the title, "The Most Powerful Galaxy is Coming," it's not going to be a phone. It's going to be a laptop, and Samsung makes very nice Chromebooks.
Yep.
So
they just have a new one out, which fixed the problems of the last one. The new red one has more battery power but fewer features. That's only a few months old.
So maybe not. Maybe it's just they do have beautiful.
Maybe
laptops.
It's a Windows machine.
Yeah, maybe it's just a Windows machine.
Ugh. Ugh.
How old, Jeff? Do you currently have a Pixel book, and how old is it?
Oh yeah, how old are ours, Leo?
Feels like it's 4 years old now. It still runs fairly well. Although mine hasn't seen a whole lot of action.
My battery is dying.
Is it? Yeah.
Still,
it'll be fine, and then suddenly it goes from 70% to 0.
These were expensive. They were if you could have spent easily over $1,500 on these Pixel books.
Let's see, when did I get it? I got the Pixel book October 7, 2017.
So 4 years old.
With my pen and the 128 gig Pixelbook and the Personal Care. Total order was $1,439.
Has Google said what the end of life is going to be? Because that's one of the things I don't like about Chromebooks.
Thing, you're right.
June 2024 for the Pixel Book.
They say this one ain't making it there.
You may not. That's 3 years hence.
No, it's struggling toward the finish line.
The Slate goes to 2026 and the Go goes to 2026. So I don't like that. I have to say, it kind of peeves me a little bit when you have hardware that's perfectly good, but the company says, we don't want to keep it up to date, so we're going to end of life it.
Which I agree with. I think you've got to have a long enough life to it.
10 years.
But security
10
is
years.
the primary problem, right?
Yeah, but these are just going to end up
supporting the software updates.
I understand, but especially for the price we paid for the Pixelbook,
10 years is a lot for. So I
Microsoft
think
goes 10 years.
So I think what's going to be interesting is we're getting to this place, like we're, now that we're at kind of the end of Moore's Law, right? We're getting to this place where our hardware is actually good enough to last for maybe not 10 years if you look at like battery performance. And if you think about
you can
like, if you use it off in flash, your memory's going to degrade. But I mean, 5 years is starting to feel like a minimum for a phone or a tablet.
I agree.
And then 7 years feels like
good.
A medium.
Yes. Okay. I'll accept
10
the compromise.
feels a little long still.
Yeah, no, 7's good. You know what happens to these? They end up in the landfill. I just don't feel like that's and everything's working.
France they actually are working towards it's the EU is looking at adopting some regulations around end-of-lifing devices that France has pioneered. But I cannot talk about it because I don't recall how it works.
Yeah.
But it's actually really exciting legislation that would help. And includes right to repair stuff. Woo.
Scooter X, birthday boy, is mentioning, maybe this is for you, Jeff, that HP has updated its Chromebook X360 with
I saw that
11th generation Intel processors.
Look at this. Judge in the chat room points out that electrical goods sold in Europe need to be repairable for at least 10 years.
There you go.
January 2026.
There you go.
Thank you.
Awesome. So they agree with my 10 years.
I wonder what the definition of repairable is.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean the software will be.
Right. It still works, but it's vulnerable to 100 attacks. But
mostly what they're saying is we will continue to sell battery fixes or, parts if you have to fix it. I think that's.
I can't imagine what it would cost to get my battery fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because all of the new stuff, they glue it in. So it can be thin and light.
I'm still running the Toshiba Chromebook 2, and a couple years ago, I replaced the LCD on it. Just found one on eBay. Somebody sold it, swapped it out, and it runs just fine. I don't really need much support from Google on it. It's just a browser for me to access.
But you do want the security updates. You want it to continue to be patched, right? You don't care if Google adds Flock to it, but you do want it to be patched. And I think that's what puts these things out of business is, should you use an operating system or browsers that are not being patched for security flaws? And my God, Microsoft yesterday released, I think it was 118 patches, of which more than 24 were critical patches. The NSA found 4 more flaws in Microsoft's Exchange server. The FBI has admitted that it's been going around, in software over the network, looking at people's Exchange servers and killing any installed web shells installed by the bad guys. Just, going in the court, they got a court order. They can go in and do that. And that gives you an idea of what a nightmare this is. So security is very important.
I don't know if you happen to read the Ben Evans thing I put up. I'm a fan of Ben's, and I put these up. You probably ignore them, but there was
no. I just don't read it till I get to it. So, is content moderation a dead end? That one,
right? Well, the reason I'm bringing it up right now is he draws a parallel between the openness of Microsoft in the early days and the necessity and what it took to go away from an open operating system that could be hacked and had tons of vulnerabilities toward trustworthy computing, which really meant closing off the APIs that were abused
Right.
Checking for bugs being exploited. Had to create a whole infrastructure of scanning and monitoring.
Yes.
Microsoft made it harder to do bad stuff and wrote software to look for that bad stuff, which sounds very familiar, he's saying, with content moderation.
I should point out that that's true, although it's like plugging holes in a dike or a Swiss, piece of Swiss cheese. It's a never-ending process that Microsoft has been singularly bad at.
Right, and that's what he's saying is learn the lesson from that.
Oh, you can't do it, is what he's saying.
It's even worse when you're dealing with human beings, right? Because we'll find every way around. So that's where he says maybe it's an architectural issue, which I found really interesting. That the fact that you can't put links up in Instagram.
Just block links. Just don't allow links.
When you do that, as for example.
Well, you can't put links in Instagram. You cannot put a clickable link in Instagram.
Right.
That's part of
what does that do?
I don't know. It doesn't seem, does it? It's not as bad as Facebook because of that. I guess you're right. Yeah. You can control it by limiting sharing and retweeting and a lot of the things that amplify. Yeah.
What does that look like? That you get to a point where Clubhouse doesn't have replies, quotes, or screenshots. Email newsletters don't seem to have virality.
That may be what's going on, huh?
Some people argue the problem is ads or algorithmic feeds, both of which he disagrees with pretty strongly. But it's the same underlying point. Instead of looking for bad stuff, perhaps we should change the paths that bad stuff can abuse.
I agree. And actually, I would add to that things like the YouTube recommendation engine, which slowly radicalizes people, over a period of time. They could fix that.
Yeah, there's that too.
They don't need their recommendations. By the way, I do love Benedict Evans' before picture of Twitter.
This is Hogarth. That's a very good piece. And he says in the piece, Hogarth contrasted dystopian gin lane with utopian beer street. Alcohol is good so long as it's the right kind.
So he says, this is 19th century gin drinkers, or actually 18th century gin drinkers in London. And it's not good.
No, it's not good.
It's not good. If you've never seen this etching, it's a classic.
There's a biography of Hogarth coming out that I have to order directly from the UK. And I love his stuff. It's just amazing, the life that he had. There's a favorite one of mine about a musician with the noise of London driving him crazy. It's full of life.
And by the way, kudos to Benedict Evans for finding that. That's a perfect illustration. If you want to see it, Google Gin Lane, Hogarth, Hogarth.
So just one more sentence, if I may. He says, Of course, if the underlying problem is human nature, then you can still only channel it. No one robs payroll trucks anymore, but I get lots of messages asking me to send my life savings to Nigeria.
I don't know if no one robs payroll trucks anymore, but okay. I'll go for argument's sake, I'll accept that.
I don't know how much. When was the last time a payroll truck you saw a big heist?
I don't know. Isn't that a big thing in Boston? There's a whole. I
think that's you've been watching the movies.
Yeah, maybe that's just in the movies.
I don't know about
watch Goodfellas.
It's been a while.
They're armored cars. He calls them payroll trucks for reasons I don't know.
He's British. So anyway, I think it was interesting that Microsoft has been fighting this forever, and there's lessons there for humanity as well. That's all. Thank you, Ben.
I've been watching City on a Hill, but it's about 1990s Boston. So you may be right.
There you go.
People stop robbing armored trucks around then.
They just break your Bitcoin. What's your Bitcoin up to, Leo?
What's the truck for?
Oh, man. BTC all-time high. $62,599.90 per Bitcoin. New record, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going, Bitcoin.
Keep on going. Do you have any?
No.
Oh.
I wish.
Oh. It's actually 63,000
0.0322 Bitcoins.
Oh.
Worth $2,000.
You're a millionaire. Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Stacey, you're muted, Stacey.
Do you have any Bitcoin or do you just have cookies?
Stacey?
Oh.
There you are. You're back.
Oh, okay. That explains why y'all were not listening to me when I was trying to talk.
Oh, I feel so much sorry.
Better. Oh, sorry. Wave your arms and Jammerby will see you.
I was like, oh man, they're so rude. And then I'm like, maybe I'm muted. Anyway.
We muted you because
That's-
you were
that
typing
happens.
really loud.
I know. I'm sorry.
Are you on deadline?
No, I was trying to find something.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Can I get you
okay.
a quiet keyboard?
Okay, I'll stop.
No, I can get you a quiet keyboard.
No, normally
I
in
think
Zoom,
she
when you hit the
enjoys the-
space bar,
Oh,
it turns you off, but it doesn't right now, and I don't know why.
yeah. See, I type all the time on this show, but I have a mushy keyboard. You can't tell.
I think even with a mushy keyboard, you could probably tell.
I think with her
Because I
force.
type like this.
Oh, that's right. You're a
She's
forceful
very
typer.
passionate typer.
I forgot.
Yeah, instead it'll go squish, 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 squish.
Okay, well, I was going to tell you, I'm writing about it in my newsletter, but on the Bitcoin story, I have made like a crazy amount, like just random amount of money on my Helium router, which is just bonkers to me.
Wait a minute. Your
So y'all
router
remember,
is
like-
mining?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
y'all
it had
remember
its
like
own
a year
Ethereum,
ago,
right?
it's their own token. But I showed off this hotspot. It was a LoRaWAN hotspot that Helium made. And I was like, y'all, I'm so excited about LoRaWAN. I'm sharing my Wi-Fi with the LoRaWAN network and blah, blah, blah. You know,
LoRaWAN is the low-range network that Amazon Sidewalk uses as well.
well, Sidewalk has a proprietary version of it, but yes, it is a low power.
Oh, there's a real
wide area network.
There's like an official open LoRaWAN as well.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. And lots of things run on it, believe it or not. Most of them are business, not consumer stuff. But anyway, I checked like a month ago and all of a sudden, because people kept asking me what I was doing with my router. And I was like, I don't know. I'm providing, LoRaWAN to anybody in the general vicinity.
Which is no one since you live on an island.
It's not true.
Oh.
I can see that like people are actually, I can see when someone sends packets using my router.
Wow. Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Isn't it fun?
It's secure, I take it. I mean, they're not on
It
your
is-
network. They're just.
They're not. They're just using my network as backhaul.
Are there a lot
but-
of hikers or
Yeah,
I think it might be shipping.
shipping?
really?
Well,
We're going to
No,
wave at
LoRaWAN
Stacy,
is
by the way, next July when we sail by on the cruise. We're going to wave at you. I'm going to get everybody out on the railing and say, use your LoRaWAN while you're sailing.
okay.
That's so strange. So you're close enough, you think. What is the range of the LoRaWAN?
LoRaWAN goes out up to 3 kilometers.
Oh, so it could
it's-
be shipping.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, maybe it's on the sound. And ships do use LoRa networks to track containers and things. That's not a weird thing. A lot of ports
Right.
have it. That's why
Can
I'm
you
guessing
see the
it's shipping.
ships from your house?
Yeah.
Wow.
She has a very nice place, I
I
think.
can see
I
the
want a
sound.
picture of your view.
I know. I think she has a
Wow.
nice place.
So the point is, I checked and like Helium network tokens went from being completely worth nothing to being worth like $15 a token. And I had like 1,000 of them
What?
Wow.
because I just, so then I
But
was
where
like,
do you
holy cow.
where do you exchange them?
I went to Binance and I like
Binance will buy
cashed
them?
in a chunk.
That's nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So are the boats giving you that money?
You're like, how is this happening?
You're mining crypto.
Yeah, it's mining crypto. And the idea is that's the incentive for people to actually put these hotspots
Got
around,
it.
right? To build out the
Got it.
network.
Got it.
So you get money for like witnessing a new network, challenges on the network to make sure you're still part of it.
It's not proof of work mining. It's proof of coverage.
Coverage.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's actually
It's a really
really
neat model.
interesting. Yeah.
So so I was really excited because I like basically found, a few $1,000s on the sidewalk that I had,
Is it that much?
That's awesome.
Holy cow.
I pulled in like, I pulled out like $10,000.
What? I'm going to buy one of these.
Yep. Time for
You
me to get a
can't.
new
They're
router.
backordered.
Yeah, because have you heard about the chip problem? Stacy can tell you about that too.
Yeah, the chip problem's a problem, and apparently demand has skyrocketed because people are crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kevin is like, he bought his in January, so he's excited. But I just thought it was kind of crazy, and I've been jokingly calling this my retirement network for
It might be
the last year. But I'm like, oh.
So at some point, we will be able to buy these again, right? Or is it over? It's like
no. Well, you'll be able to buy them and add coverage. I don't know if you'll make.
But there's
money
a story about a
this.
60-week delay in routers right now because of the chip shortage.
Yeah, that's for that's for ISPs. But yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, this is not a go invest in helium as like a get rich. To me, it's just like, oh, I found money in my couch, and it just happened to be a lot because cryptocurrencies are weird.
What you're actually doing is great, which is you're providing a low RAN network for people in your. I mean, I would see. I'm not crazy about Amazon Sidewalk mostly because it's from Amazon, but the concept I love. So let's do an open, network like that. I think that's a great idea. I love that.
So what's is it Helium the brand of the router?
Helium is the network operator. They used to sell their own routers, but now they have deals with other companies.
So I'm saying it wrong. It's LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN.
It stands for Long Range Wide Area Network.
So what Amazon was doing was called LoRaN, or was it also LoRaWAN?
It's also it uses the LoRa network.
That's it, LoRa
radio.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. They've put a proprietary protocol on it, and they've done it actually for security reasons, so you can't see what devices are communicating on the network. So that's why they are using Sidewalk purportedly.
Oh, interesting! And here's an article from December. The LoRa Alliance is in talk with Amazon to switch Sidewalk over to LoRaWAN.
So here's
which is non-proprietary.
That's basically the alliance being like, come on, Amazon, you are a giant company. Do not screw an open standard. And Amazon's like, yeah, we'll listen to you. And so the alliance is like, okay, we're in talks. So everyone gets excited, but
you don't think that's going to happen.
Don't get that excited.
Yeah, see, that's disappointing. And I can say, I'm not going to buy a Sidewalk device or allow Sidewalk. I already turned it off because I don't want to support Amazon in that. But if it were open like this helium thing, I think that's great. This is going to, Amazon gave a lot of good use cases, lost dogs and mailboxes and stuff. But I can think of a lot of uses. If I were near the shipping channels, I would definitely do it.
I turned on LoRa because I think it's important. And the use cases are so compelling for having cheap access to low power, wide area internet access. So I will do helium. I will enable Sidewalk.
Yeah.
But
so you don't mind having Sidewalk be non-standard, non-proprietary?
I think I don't because
it doesn't impinge on the ability of helium to do its thing. Obviously.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt me. And if it broadens the ecosystem, and that's all I want.
Right.
That's all I want, man.
Can you
Stacey's podcast, by the way, from December 17th discusses this whole, LoRaWAN and the attempt to work with Sidewalk. We haven't heard anything since then. So,
can you explain something to me? So, is your router mining just because it's on and it's doing that because it's got nothing better to do, or does the actual use of it as a router, as a Wi-Fi router, have some impact on the mining? I'm trying to see the relationship. I don't get that.
Oh, the relationship. So it mines by saying, I am here, and then other routers, and saying to other routers, hey, can you basically run this proof to ensure that I am who I say I am and I have coverage.
So it's not the traditional proof of work that Bitcoin or Ethereum does. It's proof of connection.
Yeah, it's proof of being like, I am on and this is my coverage range.
But you get a reward for that because you're supporting the network.
If you lived in Montana near no one who would end up using your signal, do you still mine?
Yes. And Helium has a coverage map. So you can see where everybody's routers are. It's actually super public in a way that is a little uncomfortable.
Doesn't have your name associated with it, right?
They have all these crazy names like Bamboo, Sticker, Panda.
Okay. So it's not, nobody could identify you.
Well, I mean,
although we now know you're Bamboo, Sticker, Panda.
You could figure out mine pretty easily because there's not that many where I live.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But if you don't have one near you, it makes it harder to, I guess, earn as many tokens if you're doing it for money purposes, because
you earn them through your
connections.
Okay, got it.
Right.
That's what I meant.
Let's take a little break. We have a lot more to talk about. This has been fascinating. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate it. By the way, thanks also to Jason Howell, who took over the show last week. He did a great job. I really
crushed it.
Yeah, he's great. Host of All About Android and our producer. Our show today brought to you by the Enterprise Tech 30. Now, if you listen to Stacy and you are, I think there are a lot of people going, okay, I'm writing down these companies that she talks about. These companies are going to be hot. I got something for you. The Enterprise Tech 30. It's a piece of seminal research developed by Wing Venture Capital in partnership with NASDAQ. Part of the thing that's interesting about this is these are not public companies. These are private companies, which means it's kind of hard to know what's going on in there because they're cagey about growth and revenue. They don't have to publish it. Sales cycles in some of these businesses can be long, arduous. You don't know where on the ramp they are. There are other lists, I'm not going to deny that feature startups or tech disruptors, but a couple of things wrong with them. First of all, it's really easy to lobby these lists, and so a lot of them really are basically either pay to play or heavily lobbied. Not the Enterprise Tech 30. The other problem is, they're often dominated by consumer brands or maybe even names everybody already knows, and that's how they made the list. So that's why I want you to use the Enterprise Tech 30, because these are enterprise startups with the most potential to tectonically shift how enterprises operate for the better. If you get into the ET30, that means you are on a fast track, both of growth and of transformation in business. You're transforming how business is done. And of course, I know one of the reasons people pay attention to this, they're interested in the big exits or the IPOs that are coming along, and all of these companies are on the track to that. And you absolutely cannot lobby or buy your way onto the ET30. In fact, you have to be selected by a very talented, very smart team of researchers. The Enterprise Tech 30 focuses on companies with potential at all stages of maturity too, rather than just, those companies everybody knows about. The ET30 should be considered a buying guide for enterprise executives seeking to bring more validated and credible digital innovation into their organizations. These are vetted companies that are producing a product of real value, that are on the right track. And by the way, if you're on the ET30, congratulations. That's the highest endorsement of your current and future success. And if you are, in fact, aspiring to build a publicly traded company, getting on the ET30 is a major moment in your journey. Tech executives and high-performance operators use the list to help guide their decisions on what companies to join. It's a really valuable list, and it's fascinating, too. The 2021 edition of the Enterprise Tech 30 from Wing Venture Capital and NASDAQ is out. Just came out. Head over to Enterprise Tech 30, Enterprise Tech 30, the number 30.com to see who made this year's list. That's the EnterpriseTech30.com, now out from Wing, NASDAQ. And we thank both Wing and NASDAQ and the ET30 for their support of This Week in Google. EnterpriseTech30.com.
I need you to explain the story to me.
The one in all caps?
No. I don't know who did that. I wouldn't do that.
Never.
Jason was screaming.
The CCMI story?
Yes.
Yes. So, last week, or the week before when I was here, we were talking about how exciting T-Mobile is going to support RCS, this rich communications services that Google is pushing on Android messages. It's to basically make the Android messaging app as functional and as interesting and as useful as, say, Apple's Messages or Telegram or one of the above. And so we thought that was very good news. Then the bad news, because Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T were all working together on the cross-carrier messaging initiative for RCS. and now they've decided to shut the doors. That's over. It was originally slated to ship last year, never happened. Now it never will. A spokesperson for Verizon confirmed the scoop by lightreading.com. Quote, the owners of the cross-carrier messaging initiative decided to end the joint venture effort.
Because it was being nice to Google or what?
Because these companies all hate each other. They're all in competition.
Oh, okay.
And that's why we have such a fragmented system. Nobody can, there's nobody saying, oh, we should all use the same system. No. In fact, even, this happened back in the IM wars. Originally there were a number of programs that would let you go cross-platform on all the IMs, and the IMs companies put up silos. A lot of them died because of it, so that they wouldn't be part of that. And I don't know. Would you agree, Stacey? You follow this?
I hate this stuff. It drives me absolutely bonkers. And there's a very clear business reason. I mean, what Tim Cook was in his he was talking about like why they don't open up messages to Android users. It's like, well, it's the only reason people give their kids iPhones.
That's right. It was Phil Schiller and Craig Federighi.
It was
depositions and emails revealed in the discovery during the Epic versus Apple battle. But it was, everybody kind of knew. The reason Apple doesn't make messages for Android is they want that competitive wall.
Exclusivity.
Yeah. And they even said it. The smoking gun was in this email saying, well, we don't want parents to buy Android phones for their kids, these $50 Android phones. We want them to have iPhones. And in fact, it turns out they actually had an Android app ready to go and decided not to release it.
Probably the same for FaceTime. But yeah, any communication, it drives me nuts. Like communication technologies, communication should be free and open, right? This is like what people want to do. And using it as a cudgel to like lock people in, not a cudgel, as a barrier, a wall, to lock people into your ecosystem is just wrong.
Well, it's good business probably, but I do have to point out that that's how email was. Jeff and I are old enough to remember MCI mail, which didn't talk to anything but MCI mail and Genie and CompuServe, and they all had their own mail systems, but nobody would talk to anybody else, which made it not very useful. And at some point, for some reason, it was just agreed, all right, we should federate. I remember the big deal when you could send AOL mail to other people on other services.
And maybe that was the ruin of it all. Now that you mentioned it,
that's when email went downhill.
Because then anybody could send anything to anybody.
Yeah. Well, and you had it like with IM. Remember Jabber?
Yeah, but then remember that and by the way, they're gone. AIM and ICQ is still around, but a lot of these guys said no, we don't want to interoperate. I think it's understandable. Companies want a silo. Users want interoperability. Users want to be able to. I want a messenger that I like that will talk to everybody else in my family.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No, and you probably won't get it unless Congress decides that that's important.
Is that how you have to do it? Does government have to force it?
Or threaten it, like threaten it in a way that is like, actually threatening as opposed to like, and then they'll be like, okay, fine.
So the bigger question then is why these carriers even considered CCMI, why they started it in the first place. I have to point out that SMS is cross-platform, text messaging, because each carrier has a gateway to the other carriers, because they realized, in fact, it wasn't always that way. In the early days of SMS, it never took off in the U.S. until they did that. Because if you were a T-Mobile customer, you could only text message other T-Mobile customers. If you're a Verizon customer, you're stuck there. Until they got those gateways in and interoperated, which it's in my memory. It wasn't that long ago. This is what I remember. Text messaging was huge everywhere but the U.S. Everybody talked about text messaging in Europe and Asia. And we didn't do it because it was useless. Then
and it was expensive.
And that's another thing.
Although texting was like,
it was 20 cents
it was like $1 or a quarter a text.
Yeah, it was really expensive. Yeah. So they solved that, but the problem is SMS is nowhere near the capabilities of the database messengers that we see now, and that was what RCS was supposed to do. And the carriers have been dragging their feet with RCS.
So would RCS have created that single messaging application?
Well, that was the idea.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Hey, see, you want to get mad at technology companies, folks? Start with your phone company. Start there.
Oh, I hate the phone companies.
Yeah.
They're giant.
Most
big,
of us do get mad at phone companies and cable companies. So
and by the way, this
common.
is called This Week in Google, and kudos to Google, which came up with RCS. Actually, I think they bought a company, but they were the big
That's their way.
proponents of RCS. They've been the ones that have been pushing it.
So I go back to my question: was this in part a way to say screw Google, or was it just merely screw all you guys?
It's just screw all you. We hate y'all.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to point out that there are good business reasons to do that, but there might be better business reasons to interoperate. And there are some examples like email and SMS where interoperability made these technologies take off.
Yes.
The other thing that is important is Google's RCS in Android Messenger is end-to-end encrypted. And that's another thing I think users really want.
It's a big plus,
Yeah, but it's not. It's so is Signal, so are a lot of things, but it's not any good if it's not cross-platform.
All right,
it's cross carrier. It's too bad. It's really a shame. Google's, I think, as far as I know, still big on RCS, rich communication service.
But to what end?
Without the carrier, but carrier support's always been minimal. Yeah, it's just another messenger.
Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
And Google has enough of those.
God, yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Dumb questions continue.
There's another reason to do this for the carriers, which is that SMS is a technology that rides, and Stacy, correct me because you know all this stuff much better than I do, but it rides on the voice channels. It's not it doesn't use data, although everything's using data now.
It uses data.
It does now, I guess, but it's not what we call as data service. It's always distinct from the data services, whereas Messenger, RCS, WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, they all use just pure data. They don't, and that's why it's a problem with SMS. SMS is the lingua franca. Every smartphone has SMS capability, but nobody wants to use SMS.
I use SMS.
I use it too. That's why I was bitching 2 weeks ago that Hangouts went away.
Yeah.
Actually wasn't on this show, but
it was last week.
It was on Twit.
It
was on Twit. I wasn't here last week. I was really mad because while we were in Calistoga, all of a sudden Hangouts dies. And I don't have my Pixel phone with me. I count on Hangouts so that I could get my Android messages, which are the Google Fi number. It's the public number I use on my iPhone. Then Hangouts dies because Google.
Whoops.
Yeah. And so I went on this search for a replacement. I ended up getting a program that's not a great replacement, but it's better than nothing, called Pulse by Luke Klinker.
Yeah, I heard you mention that Sunday on the show.
Yeah. And
is it working for you? Because I was considering
it's not working. Unfortunately, Apple does not allow them to have an iOS app.
Of course.
So you have to use a progressive web app, a website, but it's not working well. Yeah, I know. It works everywhere else. It works on the desktop. It works on Linux. There are other solutions, but like for instance, Signal only works on one thing at a time. I want the same message to appear on all my devices. So when my daughter, who is using Android, texts me on Hangout, well, it was Hangouts, but texts my Android number, I can see that everywhere and respond everywhere.
Is Hangout now dead for that purpose, or you're just
it's dead?
It's going to be soon.
You're a Google Fi user, right? Remember, Google Fi users, Hangouts lasted longer than anywhere else. It stopped working. I couldn't text my daughter anymore.
Wow.
I still have Hangouts in my email program.
Yeah, but trying to send.
But that's not the SMS though.
No, that's not
Hangout.
SMS.
That's the video calls.
Well, they've replaced that with Google.
Texting.
They've replaced that with Google Chat.
Yeah, so if I try, I can do it with I can send instant messages via Hangouts, but if I go to do a voice or a video call, it goes to Meet. It's very strange.
Yeah, so it's Chat and Meet is what they're hoping that you'll use instead of Hangouts, and I think they must have turned off the Hangouts server because I kept typing in messages in Hangout and it said fail to send, fail to send, fail to send. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's disappointing. And
You want to talk about other interoperability?
Yeah.
Perhaps in the smart home?
Yes. Are you talking about
perchance.
Chip?
Why, yes, I am.
So CCMI is dead, but Chip is alive and well.
Exactly.
What's the Chip news?
Project Connected Home over IP was created by Google, Amazon, Apple, and Samsung back in December 2019. And the idea was to create an interoperable platform or interoperable protocol for the smart home. And y'all were like, this is never going to work. Boo. And I was like, oh, guys, it might. And so optimistic.
No, hold on. We said this is never going to work, but I personally said this is never going to work, but I hope it does.
Okay. Ant was like, sure, Stacey. I also hope it will, but get your head out of the clouds. Well, suck it up, Stacey. It's not going to work. So with the pandemic striking soon after that, they had said it was going to take a year. It's actually what they did is this week they came out and said, all right, it'll be out in December or late 2021 is when the certificate or the spec will be publicly available and the certification will start. So they're like 2 years, or a year late, but the pandemic did change things. This week they finally talked about things like, here's how it's going to work. It's going to use Thread for low bandwidth applications in the home. So Apple putting Thread in their HomePod Mini, I always have a hard time with this. Like Eve, the way they do their Thread with HomeKit sensors for Eve stuff, all that's going to be probably moved right into chip. Wi-Fi is going to be for high bandwidth applications. They're going to support, and it also supports Ethernet. And they're also going to support the following device classes. Very exciting. Let me find them so I don't tell you the wrong device classes. Okay, lighting, blinds, HVAC, televisions, access controls like door locks, and then safety and security products, and access points, smart home controllers, and bridges. What they're not going to support, though, are things like cameras.
I was just about to ask.
Appliances and
why
wearables. Not? They're going to tell you it's because cameras, and it's true, cameras are complicated. Like a light bulb, you're like, it can only do a limited set number of things, right? You're like, turn on, dim, turn off, maybe change colors, right? And tune, A camera, they're like, you can turn it off, you can turn it on. There's motion, there's certain types of motion. There's a lot more happening there. From a data model perspective is what they tell me. I think, though, it's because a camera feed is a wonderful way to lock someone into your ecosystem. But that's just me.
The cynical Stacey.
That's
right.
That's the Ant Pruitt version of Stacey. That's me listening to my inner ant.
I'm not cynical. I'm just realistic.
There you go. That's exactly what a cynical person would say. So I went into like all this stuff. There's all the answers on backwards compatibility. And we can expect these devices hopefully by the end of this year. Oh, and this is really exciting. They're integrating security into the standard. So they're going to integrate encryption as part of the standard and software over-the-air software updates. And they've got a little blockchain component that everyone's excited about, but really it's just a distributed ledger to track like the provenance of a device and how often it gets updated. But people are very excited because blockchain.
Is there anybody left out of this alliance who should be there?
Well, there's now 180 member companies. So there are smaller companies that are not part of it.
But all the big guys are there.
And that doesn't mean they're not going to support it. They just don't want to pay the association fee.
They may not be there yet.
Can they support it without being a member of the alliance of the project? That's just the working group, right? Yeah.
So right now, if you want to see the spec and participate, you have to be part of the alliance.
Right.
When it becomes public in later this year, I believe you can implement it without, but you're still going to have to pay for like testing and certification and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Sorry, I'm so excited about this because for consumers, this means like these devices will just work together, theoretically.
Right. I think this is good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see this in action.
Maybe the carriers should
pay
attention.
Yeah. And I'm just doing a little plug here. The story on my site is, and Scooter X, thank you, Scooter X. There's a ton of information in there. And then this week in the newsletter, I'm totally, y'all are getting like a sneak preview.
What?
There's going to be scoops on chip in the newsletter from different vendors on what they're doing with it. And then there's also my helium story, but y'all just heard it. So don't tell anybody.
Shh. We now know. Shh.
Y'all can skip that.
Y'all can skip the helium story. I don't need to talk about that. Well, good. Thank you. We knew you were excited about chip, and I'm glad to hear that there is actually some future there. You can read about it, of course, at Stacy on IoT. Project Chip embraces the timeline and the blockchain. And there's the clear as mud pyramid, the chip pyramid.
Yeah. So basically everyone hates this. I hate it too. Basically, they're just saying, you know what? Y'all are all familiar with standards at the radio level. This is at the application level.
Right.
So if that means something to you, I mean, I don't, it may or may not.
What does it mean to people?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, like, basically, it'll run over a bunch of different radios, Wi-Fi.
We may finally get to, a point where home automation is more universal and things just interoperate with one another, which would be a huge step forward.
Yeah, you could buy a light switch without going, does this work with HomeKit?
Yeah.
Does it work with Echo?
So annoying. And by the way, there is a perfect example, industry folk, of why you want to do this. I think you had to do it in home automation.
That's why they had to do this.
Yeah.
That's why and it took them for freaking ever, like 5 or 6 years of them pushing their siloed view and consumers saying, nope.
Yeah, because really home automation never took off. It's been around for more than a decade. But the fact that it was a Tower of Babel just stopped people cold. They'd buy some stuff and realize nothing interoperated and go, oh, screw it. I want 18 hubs in my house. And that was that. And especially after the voice assistants came out, because then people started to want scripts. They wanted actions where they could say, good night, hello, Echo, good night. And everything would turn off and the garage door would close. And none of that works if things don't interoperate. And so I think that's really when it started to happen. Do you agree, Stacey? It was voice assistants.
That is 100% why.
Yeah. And shortcuts on iOS. And I can't remember what Google calls those home shortcuts. But those things started to really become something people wanted. I guess that's why Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint don't have to interoperate, because nobody's saying they ought to be, but there's not the drumbeat to get them to go.
Well, so there's not actual consumer buying power. You're either going to buy an iPhone.
That's right. You don't buy something because of that. That's exactly right. Yeah. And by the way, who was it? I was listening. Was it all about Android? Where they were saying, yeah, I am still constantly discriminated against over being a green bubble.
Oh, yeah. That was Miss Florence. Ion said that.
Yeah. And that's, I blame you, Apple. Blame you.
Well, you could also blame, discrimination. Like if your friends are really like.
It's your friends.
Come on.
True. They're the problem. I agree.
You just need to sit down with them and have a real talk.
Yeah.
I was in a chat room when that conversation came up, and I basically said, in my tiny circle of plus over 40 people, that conversation never comes up. Who cares?
Everybody's a green bubble.
It's young.
Everybody's a person. Everybody's message is getting out.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
I think it's a teenager thing. I don't know.
It is. And I remember my son, when my son was in a frat at CU Boulder, I was doing some research and I asked him, so iPhones, Android phones, he said, we all have iPhones except for one kid who has an Android phone. And because he's a green bubble, he can't be in our group chats on messages. So he misses out on all the events. He never gets invited to the events. And hence everybody in the frat has to have an iPhone. It's things like that give Apple that clout.
Download WhatsApp, man.
Yeah, but then you have to talk to everybody at the frat and say, okay, now, folks, don't send a message.
Good luck with that.
You got to use WhatsApp. And they're going to go, but no, that's
one
the
paranoid
problem.
person.
We figured that out real quick.
What do you use?
Well, like the parents of my daughter's school, we were in a big WhatsApp group because exactly that issue.
Yeah.
And you know what? We all got
So everybody just got WhatsApp.
Yeah.
See, I'd be the guy that
hard.
goes, but I don't want to use a Facebook product. I'd be that
Well,
guy.
that's
you
fair.
Would be. You would be that guy. Exactly.
I refuse to use it. And I'd be the guy who say, what if we use Signal instead? And everybody said, so
Can you do
WhatsApp
group
is
chats on
great.
Signal?
Yeah, of course you could do everything on everything.
I'm the guy that
that
says my
means
email
you're the
address
house
is
drug
so-and-so, so-and-so.
There is, and I can't get anybody to use this either. There is a really good end-to-end encryption chat program that uses email called Delta
Really?
Chat. Yes. And so when somebody chats with you at Delta Chat, it's delta.chat, it comes in as an email, except that your conversation in the Delta Chat app, Android, iOS, both, and desktop, shows up like this is email, but it shows up like a chat. I think that's a really good way. That's totally interoperable. Don't you think? Isn't that? I think that's cool. No, I can't get anybody to use that either.
No, you won't.
And it's end-to-end encrypted, by the way. It uses PGP. I really
Well, my
like
next crime spree, I'll use that. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing is everybody talks about encryption like, oh, I got to have encryption. But no, nobody.
Yeah.
What?
You guys. Okay, this is big news, sort of. Let me sell this, but this is actually worth talking about. Can I talk about it?
Take a break and we will talk about it when we come back. How about that?
Okay.
Because I gotta talk about Linode. You know me and Linux, love the Linux. You know me and the cloud, love the cloud. Now the two great tastes have come together. Actually, not now. Linode's been around for ages. I've been a Linode subscriber probably for 10 years. Linode was one of the first cloud server systems to use SSDs, all Linux all the time. It is a great solution for anybody who wants to host a website, build an app, store or backup media, launch and enrich your developer applications. It's great for DevOps, for CI/CD. It's great for hosted services, AI even. They have machine learning nodes, gaming services. It's cloud computing developers not just trust, but love. That's why 800,000 developers choose Linode, including little old me. Simplify your cloud infrastructure with Linode's Linux virtual machines. Develop, deploy, and scale your modern applications faster and easier. Of course, you can have a dedicated compute instance if you want, or save money with a shared instance, or use your $100 credit, which I'm going to tell you about in a second, on an S3 compatible object storage or managed Kubernetes or whatever you need. I love the cloud manager at Linode. So easy to use. They have a full-featured API as well, so it works really anywhere, anytime. Data centers all over the world, and I love this about Linode. They don't charge you more for certain locations. Same, simple, consistent pricing globally. So just choose the data center closest to you because you're going to get the same great deal no matter where you are. And the customer support is superb, even if you, like me, have a small plan. I find Linode very affordable, just a few bucks a month. Gives me everything I need to do, development, to practice, to learn things, websites, all of that stuff. And the support team doesn't say, oh, you're a $5 a month guy. No. They're there for me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. No tiering, no handoffs. When you get that support rep on the line, she's going to get it working right the first time. I just love that. Check out Linode's great YouTube channel, by the way, for video tutorials, security tips, everything you need to know at youtube.com/Linode. It's Linode, like Linux Node. Get it? Linode. Just some testimonials. Bryce Adams, Meteoric. He says, quote, from the start, we were looking for a partner, not a provider. Some of the large providers, some of the three-letter providers see us only as a transaction. Linode is the kind of partner that will be with us from the start today and beyond. That's why people love Linode. Multiple Stevie Award winners for their customer and sales service. In fact, they've won it 3 years in a row now. Simplify your infrastructure. Cut your cloud bills in half with Linode's Linux virtual machines. Whether you're developing a personal project like me or managing larger workloads, you deserve simple, affordable, accessible cloud computing solutions. I love Linode Been a happy Linode customer forever. Get started on Linode today with $100 in free credit. Yeah, $100. That'll go a long way. Just because you're listening to Twig, go to linode.com/twig to find out more. Linode.com/twig. Click that free account button right there after you enter your primary email. Or you could text TWIT to 474747 and the same thing will work. TWIT 474747 is the short code. Linode.com/twig. If it runs on Linux, it runs on Linode. More and more, I'm a Linux fan, and having Linux available in the cloud is so great. So great. Thank you, Linode. Linode.com/twig. It was kind of what you were talking about earlier with operating systems in order to become secure, locking you down more and more and more. And I've just started to decide that I feel like Apple's nannying me. I feel like Windows is nannying me. And Linux just treats you like a grown-up. Like,
so does Chrome.
You know what you're doing. Well, Chrome treats you like a grown-up in a playpen.
It's a fine playpen where I don't have to worry about all this crap.
Yeah, well, no, you know what? Somebody like you priority one is safe, secure working, right? Yeah. For me, I like to mess around with my stuff. Yeah. I don't want anybody telling me what I can and cannot do. And so Linux, I go to the command line, and if I want to erase my hard drive, I can erase my hard drive.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you say that, but yet you are also an iOS proponent. You love it.
I preferred Android for years because it was more flexible and configurable, but I feel like it's getting janky in its old age.
There's that.
And I don't like janky. And janky on a desktop's a little different than janky on a phone. A phone needs to be an appliance. I'm sorry, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Desktop
I'm just jerking your chain. Got to give you a hard time a little bit.
But I got Linux pretty locked down, pretty reliable. It's running nice on my nice Ryzen 7 5800 or 5900. No, I guess I got 5800 with the NVIDIA GTX 3080. Is sweet. Although I still have to keep Windows on there because whenever I have to update the Alienware firmware, I have to go to Windows.
You gotta go back. Dang.
But I have a little Windows partition in it. Great big Linux partition. and at my game that I play, Valheim, runs beautifully on it. I'm loving it. It's so much fun.
You may need to check out some open source gaming, but
there is some good open source. There is some good open source gaming. Valheim is Linux first, which it's not open source, but the developer develops on Linux. There's a Windows version. It plays pretty much the same on Windows or Linux. I've tried it on both.
Nice.
So at least Linux is a peer to Windows in this regard. There are a few of them. In fact, Father Robert was on Sunday. I don't know if you heard. He's got his big server.
Yeah,
where they got
he's got TF2 on it.
He's got TF2, which, by the way, source code leaked to TF2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see that.
And as a result, immediately malware, cheats, all sorts of stuff. Of course. There is some funny stuff in the source code, though. Somebody in the here's Tech Radar's story about it. Remote quote execution.
I was actually just trying to plug Floss Weekly. A sneaky plug.
Yeah, did they do open source gaming?
Yep, Endless Sky.
Oh, it's open source today. Let me show you my
like butter.
Isn't he good? At you. Is he like butter? Get the guys on from Zero AD, okay? Because this is also open source Linux gaming. That's basically one of my favorite games, Age of Empires. It is such a good implementation, even though they say they're completely beta. It's as is Valheim, by the way. It's very stable and so much fun to play. And man, the graphics and everything, it's just if you liked Age of Empires, Zero AD, now with improved flora.
I wonder if they use Blender.
They might well. I mean, it's a very open sourcey kind of thing. Yeah, make a note because I'd love to hear you guys talk with the Zero AD guys.
Yeah, because I took a note.
It's a really neat project. It's been going on for years and years and years. But that is actually one of the open source games I play all the time, Zero AD. All right. Stacy, I've been teasing you. I've been mean. I've been dragging this out. What?
Oh, it's okay.
What was
You're going to feel so bad when you find out what it is.
What happened?
Okay. You know how hot car deaths are a big deal, right? Like people leaving their kids, babies in cars.
Yeah.
The FCC just approved waivers for 6 different companies to build in-car radar that will be able to detect passengers in the car and let people know. So this is a huge deal.
Why was a waiver needed?
Because it's
radar.
Yeah, it's spectrum, and they're like, okay, so they're going to operate. It's 60 gigahertz spectrum.
Doesn't your car have a backseat warning though? Both of our cars do. They don't do it fancy with radar. They just, if you opened the back door and closed it again during the ride, my car beep, and Lisa's car, our Chevy Bolt and my Mustang Mach-E, both beep the horn and say, "There's something in the back seat. You left something in the back seat." Oh
wow, yeah. Mine does not do that.
I think many modern cars do, but this would be a better way.
I thought the horn beep was that you'd locked the car. I never knew what the meaning of the horn beep was. I don't have it.
Now you got 2 reasons.
There is a beep when the car is locked as well. But
then how do you know the difference?
Right.
It's a different. The car's locked. My kid's in the back.
It's a different beep.
How is it a different beep?
It's a longer beep if there's somebody in the trunk.
Oh,
I mean, not trunk, back seat. It doesn't tell you.
It's like Morse code.
That's not very good for anybody planning midnight shenanigans.
Nobody's in my trunk. I swear to God. I just think it's the lock. It's the lock.
Anyway, I just thought that was exciting because it's, as someone who's been around IoT forever,
it
huge. Seems like such an easy problem to solve. And oh my God, we haven't solved it. So
it's good use of technology.
Okay. It won't be in cars though until it's supposed to be in cars by 2025 as a industry mandate. So it could be earlier, obviously, in fancier cars, but
they call it, it's not a good name, the hot car trigger alert.
Yeah, but anyway. Okay, that's trigger. It. I'm hijacking all the green things. I should just color all mine green.
Oh no! If they're green, they're golden. If you will.
Well, so if we're in the government section, do we want to talk about how stupid the White House is being about the chip shortage?
See, notice by the way, I'm not saying to Stacy, it's not a democracy, Jeff. No, I only say that to you.
I know. And
that's because I'll yell at him. I'll be like, "Fine, Leo."
Stacy,
it's
a democracy. So this was on Monday. Biden got all the chip companies to come to the White House. Not that there was anything he could do short term, but so it was a flop.
Well, there's just nothing you can do. It's basically, this is like politics right here in the sense that
there's something you could do. You can allocate federal funds. I think they allocated $100 billion, right? Or $50 billion.
But it's not going to change anything for a long time.
No, because you got to build plants and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and this is kind of like, I mean, this is Europe, the governments in Germany and
they're doing
France, maybe.
Yeah.
They all sent letters to Taiwan and we're like, hey, can you make chips again so we can get our automotive industry on the road?
It's a mess. And it's not going to fix it in 2021 and it's not going to fix it in 2022. Really? But the point
2022 is actually when they're thinking most of the chip CEOs, TSMC and Intel and I can't remember the other one.
Qualcomm?
Said the middle of 2022, we should start getting coming online out of this.
Yeah, TSMC is building a $12 billion Arizona plant this year that might be online next year. So is Intel. They've got 2 plants slated. TSMC is spending $100 billion. Biden's trying to get Congress to back a $50 billion fund for this. And I think this is exactly what we should be doing. Instead of tariffs and saying we hate you, China, start building fabs in the U.S.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Pat Gelsinger, who is the CEO at Intel, said it will go beyond 2022.
Oh, because it takes a while to do these things. But it's definitely not this year anyway.
Probably. The darned infrastructure bill.
Micron. That's who you're thinking of, right? Micron? No. That's another American chip manufacturer.
I think it was what is the TSMC of, there's another fab. It was another foundry that talked about it. But
so companies at this event included TSMC, who originally wasn't going to send somebody, but they changed their mind. GM CEO Mary Barra, and Ford Motor Company CEO James Farley, and Sundar Pichai of a company, I think Google, is that the name of it? Seems like a childish name, but okay. They were all there. I'm not sure why Sundar was there, but anyway, they were all there. But so were the manufacturing powers: Dell and Intel, Medtronic, Northrop Grumman, HP, Cummins, Micron, TSMC, AT&T, Samsung Electronics. So I think this is a very positive. Yes, you're not going to fix this tomorrow. You got to build plants, and they're very expensive. But I think it's a very positive move, don't you think? We need to do this.
I think it was. We already knew that you needed to build plants. The issues around building the plants isn't.
But you want government support. You want government funding.
The government has been fairly supportive. I know they have pulled back in the last probably
under Trump.
decade.
It was mostly tariffs, and it was mostly tariffs that American citizens paid because that's how tariffs work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, outside of tariffing, we have had a lack of investment by chip firms because fabs are so expensive,
right.
And you need to run them all the time. Intel going to a foundry model is going to help them.
They're not going to a foundry model.
Intel said, Pat Gelsinger said that they were opening up their plants for foundry services.
I see what you're saying. Yes, they are. Yeah, but they're building a lot of new plants, and you're right. They're going to they hope to make those plants work by building them for other people.
Just
like
6 months
Apple?
ago, Intel had...
Sure, Intel.
Yeah, just 6 months ago, Wall Street investors were coming after Intel for investing in plants. So this isn't a lack of government support. It's a lack of CEO cojones to stand up to Wall Street.
Intel was going to let Gelsinger make the decision. Everybody expected that they would become fabless like NVIDIA or ARM.
I never expected it.
No, and I'm I think it's very good for America that they said, no, we're going to, in fact, spend a lot of money to build 2 plants in Phoenix. We're going to keep our Oregon plant. I think they're going to keep their Oregon plant going, although it's a little out of date. The problem is Intel's process is still 14 nanometers, and they're saying, and Pat Gelsinger is saying, yeah, we're going to sell chips to Apple. Oh, yeah, I bet. Meanwhile, TSMC in Taiwan is cranking out 5 nanometers, next generation 3 nanometers. I'm glad to see, though, that they're going to invest in the U.S. And it's things like that. It's diplomacy. It's going to TSMC and saying, here, we're going to give you some money, some tax breaks, whatever. Build a plant in Arizona, please. That helps us in other ways, too. It's not only manufacture in the U.S., but it helps us because we don't know what the situation is going to be with China, even with Taiwan down the road. Or
look at shipping issues. I mean, you ship chips on an airplane in via armored car. However, if you think about building for resiliency in terms of like climate change, in terms of global, it does make sense. I would also say, though, that even if Intel, their new stuff won't be, but not everything has to be made at 3 nanometers, right? No. Advanced memory.
Yeah.
But we still have, if I look at like IoT chips, the chips in your router, car chips, those are like,
not coming from Intel. I got bad news for you.
Well, yeah, those are Infineon and those companies, but those are not way down the process note like that. So.
It's optimistic of Intel to say we're going to become a foundry, but good luck, guys. I hope you do. We need. It's good. Intel needs to succeed.
I think Bloomberg had a great story on what went wrong at Intel, and everyone should read it because it is a management case. It's a case study in how to screw up an innovative company, an old innovative company too. Brian Krasinski.
I am so excited. The creators of Bridgerton the musical on TikTok have signed a deal with Creative Artists Associates. I know, Ant. This is going to make you so happy.
Good for them. It's a nice
clip. It's a very musical clip. I think you should play.
Where's the clip? Is it on this article that you put in here?
Put it on there. It's nice.
Keep scrolling. Oh, here we go. This is for you, Ant Pruitt. Oh, I gotta fix this. I apologize. I'm having the Linux problem.
You
Linux.
torpedo all my audio clips.
Wait a minute, I can fix it. Do you mind if I take a moment? I got to go to
I'm
terminal.
sure Ant will forgive that. Yes.
He's got to go to terminal. What was that Linux admin? What was
I got to go to terminal. No, wait a minute. To be fair,
He knows what he's doing, Ant, and that's how Linux.
At lunch, I decided for no good reason to blow out my Linux install, and in about half an hour, I installed a completely new Linux on here. But I was concerned because one of the things we'd done before is set the default rate in Pulse Audio to 48 kilohertz. And I was a little concerned, but then I played a YouTube video for John and it was fine. So I don't know.
We're just going to have to go with the TikTok musical every time for the testing.
Apparently TikTok.
That's what it
Yes,
sounds
I
like.
think every single time.
Yeah. Now I have to remember where it is. I think it's in
/bin.
It's close. Here it is. It's in /Etsy
/Etsy
/bin there we go. And then and then inside Etsy Pulse, I need.
What
no,
are you
this
saying
is
about Linux? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
this
all I do is
easy.
just
Why you
right
want
click.
this?
All I do is right
easy.
click.
Should I play it on my
Nano,
Chromebook? It
I have
works
to
every time.
Nano daemon conf. And then, I have to sudo. Wait a minute, sorry.
Wait a minute, you
Wait a
didn't
minute.
have the right
Wait a
admin
minute.
right, sir.
No, I don't have that. I have to sudo that. Wait a minute. Sudo first. Okay. Control A. Sudo. Okay. And then here's my password. Wait, just be patient now. It's very easy. We're going to go down here in the daemon. We're going to go down here and find the default bit right here. You see the alternate sample rate. The default sample rate is 44.1, but I don't want that. I want the default sample rate to be
48K.
Okay, you remember, right? See, you know this. You know this. You know it's easy. And the thing is, if you expect the operating system to do all that stuff, you never really understand how computers work. I'm just saying.
Oh, gosh.
Save that. Okay, now I have to restart Pulse. Sudo Pulse. Can't remember how to do that. Stop. Let's see if that works. No. Pulse Audio. What is it? Is it Pulse Audio?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. I should have written a set alias to fix that. That's exactly right. I don't remember the name of the daemon. Shoot. Oh, well, never mind.
Can we all get a look at Mr. Jarvis's face during this right now? As he's
You can't do this on a Chromebook.
You're not selling it. I got to tell you.
I wanted to use Signal on my Chromebook, and to do that, I have to have Linux. And of course, what happens? I go in, I can't do it from my, what are they called this week? Workplace account.
Oh, that stupid workplace account.
Yep.
How do I restart the server is what I need to do. Let's see. I've got the daemon conf. Usually by now the chat room has helped me.
No, the chat room is having fun with you.
No, we're not going to tell you the command, Leo.
There it is. Kill, kill, and start.
Thank you, Pulse Audio.
That's kill, what it was. And start.
See, I can count on Keith 512. Sudo Pulse Audio. That's what it was. Audio -- kill, and then no daemon process. That's okay. I'm going to start it now.
So good. So you're starting it.
Yeah.
You got to put your tag.
Oh, right? I shouldn't have run it as root. That's my problem. There you go, right there.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's do a kill again. Oh, I have to do probably sudo kill. Now it'll say, "Oh, I know that one." Yeah. Now I have to not sudo Pulse Audio.
This is the best twig ever.
And now let's go back to Bridgerton.
Yay!
Already
What a
in
reward,
progress.
France, for helping you out there.
Holy cow. Of course, I closed that tab. Wait a minute.
Best twig
Let's
ever.
go back. Here we go. One more time. Let's see if it fixed it. No, it didn't fix it.
No.
Sure didn't.
Jeremy, can you play the clip?
I probably should reboot. I just might have to reboot. Shut up. Hey, so Spotify spent how much money to get Joe
Trying
Rogan?
to change the subject, are we?
I'm moving along to another green story.
Yes, a lot.
I really didn't want to play
million?
that.
Was it 200?
100 million. But that's speculation. We don't know. And Joe says, yeah, part of the deal was that Spotify could kill any of my earlier episodes they didn't like. Well, turns out that's 42 shows and counting. Yeah, Spotify continues to remove Joe Rogan episodes. They're only on Spotify, so I hope you Joe Rogan fans downloaded that one with the Bulletproof Coffee founder. That's one of them.
There were 3 of them, apparently. He and Dave Asprey are tight.
Apparently, something about Dave Asprey and Bulletproof Coffee Spotify doesn't like it.
It's because it's pseudoscience.
I've screwed up my video now, too.
I like Dave. I've known Dave. He used to be in the cloud computing industry.
What is wrong with your screen, sir?
I'm also in fixing the sound.
Wait a minute, are you?
In fixing the sound, I somehow screwed up the video as well. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Was it X server?
Yeah, I think I must have killed my X server.
Do we have a technical
No, it looks okay now. It looks okay now.
Screen?
It looks okay now. It was just you, John. Look, see on the bottom screen is okay. It's just you, John. You're throwing me. I'm looking at it right now on the bottom screen. It looks fine. Oh, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. You don't have to read
Jeremy
it.
says, nah, dude.
I don't think you should throw John under the bus.
Well, it's okay. Don't worry. Calm down. Bulletproof. You don't need to see this. This is all in your mind. It's the theater of the mind. Imagine,
so
if
grateful
you will.
for our awesome editors.
It's an audio show, remember.
Imagine if you will.
But of course, his audio doesn't work. But never mind that.
Imagine
Hold on,
if
let's
you
go
will.
to terminal again and fix this.
Come on, prove you can do it. Let's see ya.
Imagine, if you will, you're in a studio with Joe Rogan, sitting 10 feet away, lots of figurines in between. You got Dave Asprey. He's the founder of Bulletproof Coffee. Stacy, what makes Bulletproof Coffee so delicious?
You're supposed to mix a bunch of butter in it.
Butter makes it better.
Special butter, too. Grass-fed cow butter.
Yeah, ideally you'd have yak butter, but since that's not
I was about to say, or
available-
yak butter,
Yeah.
but
So yeah, a grass-fed cow butter. Anyway, no one's at Spotify saying why these 3 episodes have been removed. Apparently, Asprey also backs frequently controversial anti-aging and scientific theories, including the claim that Bulletproof Coffee is extremely healthy while other coffee brands are not. He really pushes that thing that
he's
they're
got this
moldy,
whole thing about
right?
the mold in the coffee
mold.
beans.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy ideas.
He says he's going to live to 180, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
I will anyway, because
Or
I'm
maybe
going to live
not.
to 190.
I was going to say, maybe my daughter will. I'll tell her to keep an eye out.
Great-granddaughter. But I don't know why it's so, I would have thought they would delete it because there's anti-Semitic sentiments or racist sentiment. No, it's because the coffee. They don't like the coffee.
Well, right now we're in a public health kind of crisis. So maybe, we do see people clamping down on misinformation about public health.
They also killed 7 episodes with David Seaman, maybe because of his name, Seaman. I don't know. They killed episode 276 featuring Little Esther, Al Madrigal, Josh McDermott, Brenda Walsh, Felicia Michaels, and Brian Redband because the jokes got racy.
Okay.
I don't, Joe Rogan says...
It is
Quote,
the Joe Rogan experience,
quote,
though.
Yeah.
If you're a hardcore Joe Rogan fan, this is going to piss
I would
you
think
off
so.
to no end.
If it
but
were
if
me,
you're like just...
I would be pissed off. If I were Joe, I'd be pissed off. But Joe he said, that, quote, there are a few episodes that they didn't want on their platform. And I was like, okay, I don't care. I got $100 million.
I mean, he's kind of playing a character, right?
Right.
I mean, so he's probably,
But this is what people, I'll be honest, is what people were afraid of when Spotify started to eat the podcast world, is that these big corporate, agendas would intrude on what has been up to now a freewheeling and fun medium.
Well, you don't have to go take $100 million payday. And I mean, if they're mad, they should be mad at Joe Rogan. If he was,
Right. He did it too.
He signed the check.
But nobody, you're right.
Deposited a check.
Nobody gets mad at 100.
He signed the back of the check.
Right.
Where it matters. Yeah.
Don't sign the front. Then it comes out of your account.
Right.
I'm not angry about this, but I could see why Joe Rogan fans might not be thrilled about this. Zoom has a 0 day.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
Okay. Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Because I read, and this is I've always called it a 0 day. I read in the New Yorker a review of Nicole Perloff, her book about hacking, which is, according to everyone, very good.
Yeah.
But they said it's pronounced O-day.
No, they're wrong.
Okay. I wasn't going to take the New Yorker's word for it, but then I was like, have I really been saying 0 day?
O-day.
I've never heard.
O-day.
Okay, thank you. That is so helpful, and I
That's
appreciate
the Little Rascals, I think, isn't it?
Was that buckwheat?
Buckwheat. Oh, actually, it was Eddie Murphy playing buckwheat, to be fair. O-tay. I call them 0 days. Steve Gibson calls them 0 days. Bruce Schneier calls them 0 days. Brian Krebs calls them 0 days. I think they're 0 days.
I think maybe this writer got some, maybe a fact checker.
I think somebody was messing
excited.
with it. Yeah, the New Yorker's famous for fact checking. That's
they're well, maybe somebody. Maybe
she said specifically. Oh, and by the way, this is pronounced O days.
Yeah, it was in parentheses.
They, like you, have
it was
audio
like
problems.
Pronounced O days. It was
I heard that, Mr. Jarvis.
I think she got punked.
Let's see. And on the digital version, maybe they changed it. Let's see. But in the print version,
that's okay.
I was just like,
this is almost as bad as me going to the terminal. Let's just move on. Almost, not quite.
Yeah, it ain't there yet.
Zoom 0 day discover. But the good news is it was discovered and revealed at the Pwn to Own conference, which is a very well-known hacking conference where people bring their exploits and hack stuff. It was done remotely this year. And the reason this is important is because the companies pay bug bounties so that when so all year long, people who are trying to make a living doing this, finding these exploits, save them up. And they hope to win money. The companies pay the money so that Zoom, in this case, gets the bug and fixes it before anybody else knows about it. In this case, $200,000 for the Dutch white hat security specialists who discovered this. Now, I don't know. Malwarebytes is calling it a 0 day. What a 0 day traditionally means is a newly discovered exploit that's already being used in the wild by bad guys. I don't know if there's evidence that this has been. It's a remote code execution flaw in Zoom that would allow you to get into a browser tab. This works on Zoom in Windows and Linux, and I believe Mac as well. No, just Windows and Mac, sorry. Not clear whether iOS and Android are vulnerable, and I've heard that the web version of Zoom is not vulnerable. Anyway, it's been patched already. But what it would allow you to do is if somebody's in a Zoom call, is get in there and execute a program. And that's not good. That's not good. Here's the, I can't show you the zip. Oh, no, I can show you the GIF. Here's the GIF that was posted. It's pronounced, by the way, zero if, just so you would know.
And I went back and looked at the article and put it in the chat because I was like, I swear I'm not crazy.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's a 0 day.
And thank y'all.
You were right, Stacey. You knew it.
Well, no, I was like, well, I always mispronounce things, so it's possible.
We call them Z days. And then meanwhile, of course, yesterday was Patch Tuesday for Microsoft. A record.
Is it every Tuesday patch day for
every
Microsoft?
Second Tuesday of the month. So once a month. Patch Tuesday is a holiday among Windows users, right, Ann?
Yeah,
because you can't.
My
use your
computer just got finished rebooting before we came on
off. Yeah,
real talk.
Lots of flaws. I think 114 flaws. Not all of them critical, but enough that this was one of the biggest Patch Tuesdays in living memory. And among them, oh my God, the NSA revealed and Microsoft fixed 4 new flaws in Exchange Server. This is in addition to the previously discovered and patched flaws in Exchange Server that did have 0 days, that were being widely exploited. In fact, so much so, did I mention this already? The FBI has been going around and patching them. So anyway, 4 new vulnerabilities in the Exchange Server. Wow. Thank you, NSA, though. Your tax dollars at work, right?
When they're not hacking for their own benefit.
Yeah, right.
Helping patch and upgrade our messed up stuff.
There will be no union at Alabama's Amazon's Alabama
quite
centers.
The margin.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, panel? Was it intimidation on the part of Amazon, which is what some claimed, or that people didn't really want a union?
I think the South and Alabama is probably a hard place to get a union going, is my hunch.
Yeah. The vote tally was, I can't remember. It was
1,700 versus 70%, I think.
It was a huge amount. Not enough. Not enough that probably intimidation would have had much to do with it, if you ask me.
No. I mean, but Amazon does pay $15 an hour minimum, right?
Yeah, I know.
McDonald's average for managers is $12 an hour.
Oh man.
And so Amazon has a lot of problems. They could be a lot smarter company trying to be just a little bit nicer to their employees and people. It wouldn't be that hard.
It's not a good look to be so aggressively anti-union as well, right?
But
it's a little robber baron.
All the focus on Amazon being, there's a lot worse companies. Walmart says they're going to get to an average of $15, which means they're going to be people paid lower than $15.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's once again, let's go after the tech companies, the big bad, but there's plenty of companies in this country that screw people.
Well,
what we really need is federal legislation mandating $15 an hour.
I think it's not just a function of pay. The way that Amazon, there have been egregious things like no air conditioning in some of their warehouses.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree.
And the way they treat their workers, they may pay them $15 an hour, but you are tracked like a freaking lab rat
stipulated,
while you're in there.
All agreed.
But you're not treated like
fun to work the fries.
Amazon's not the only company doing that type of stuff too.
Well, yeah,
Corporate America
and that's why this was a good
freaking
test. Because I think it was actually interesting because Amazon is basically saying, yes, we are not going to treat you like a human, but we'll give you more money. And apparently that's okay for some of these people. And it's because they don't have great other options. And that makes sense because capitalism. Okay, I'm just being silly now.
None of yous are single, but would you use Facebook's video speed dating app?
Oh, Hopin offers this like a networking function, and I would actually use it. I'd be like, that is super efficient. Let's do it.
For networking, interesting.
The single folks I know universally hate dating. Mostly because they're older. And
I was going to say, what's the age group, sir?
Yeah. Well, here's what Facebook says. Video speed dating with kind people. Okay. Maybe, but what if you don't want to date a kind person? Do you ever think of that? No public profiles. No swiping, a little swipe at Tinder. No endless DMs, also a swipe at Tinder. Free to use. And it's made by the company's NPE team. That's their experimental apps team. They call it, I love the name, Sparked. Spark up a relationship. Steve Gibson recently got married. And I don't know if this is public. It's public to say that. I don't know if what I'm about to say is public, so I won't say it.
Let's not talk about it.
It's about dating. It's about how horrible dating is. It's an endless
I can tell
process.
you dating is terrible.
Yeah.
Mazel to Steve.
Mazel to Steve.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's great.
Oh, and his wife is wonderful. Lisa and I have met her in Boston when we did an event for LastPass. She's great. She's perfect for Steve.
Of course.
They're a fun couple.
Steve is such a gentleman.
Yeah. I did ask them after they got married. I said, "You want to go on a cruise?" And they said no. So,
do you get like a group discount? Is that
yeah. So the way these things work, if we do it, I did like 15 geek cruises.
Oh yeah, he did them in the day.
They're free for the speakers, and then people pay to be. It's like a conference at sea.
It's like a workshop.
Yeah, it's like a workshop. In fact, we went to Alaska and Holland, America. I did a chess cruise.
Oh,
yeah, that was fun. Man, those people know how to party.
Is there a Linux cruise we could go on?
Oh, well, let me tell you, if we do one, we're thinking about it. We're not sure. If we do one, I'll promise I will have a session on terminal commands.
Oh,
just
you're
for anybody.
Too kind.
And I will have a Gutenberg drinking game.
Oh, you'll get many more people. Don't schedule at the same time as my Linux commands. Okay.
Up arrow and tab key are your friend.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh,
dating, Facebook.
Facebook. Anyway,
4-minute speed dating.
It's gone.
Would we do it?
That's it. I
think it's interesting.
Have you ever done? They didn't have speed dating when you were.
I was
still
a child bride, so no.
Yeah, when you were on the market, so to speak. What else? I need
changelog.
What?
Changelog?
Oh God, I almost forgot. Thank you, Stacy. It's time for. Wait a minute. Wait for it.
The Google changelog.
No, he was waiting for me to throw it. But see, I don't like to say it's time for the Google changelog, and then somebody plays a thing that says the Google changelog. That's redundant, John. So I'm just going to, from now on, the ellipsis is your cue. When you hear it's time for ...
He'll put the ad in there.
What's gold?
John, can you one day insert Higgs in
space?
Just for fun.
If I weren't on Linux, I'd play that for you right now. Google Assistant can now find, even ring, silenced iPhones. Wait a minute, this is a very confusing headline. Explain this. Somebody's got to parse this headline. Google Assistant can now find and ring silenced iPhones as Duplex expands to online food orders.
This makes no sense.
That's a bad headline. That is an SEO optimized headline.
There you go.
That's the only
that's an AI written headline.
There you go.
Okay, so it's two different features. Okay, you could say, "Hey, you know who," the lady with Google in her name. Hey, you know who, find or ring my phone. You've always been able to do that with Android, but apparently now on Apple's platform, the assistant will place a phone call to your mobile number. Apple, of course, is the one that owns the beep, beep, beep sound. I can make my phone do that from my watch. So it's probably easier if you have a watch to beep your phone.
Sounds like a car door opening.
It does. Well, it's because it's
your kid's inside.
But this is oh my God, I left my. This is useful because it's just the right frequency to echolocate if you're a bat, so you can know exactly where your phone is. I got to tell you, that is a sound. That is a sound heard at least daily in the Laporte household.
Oh, I love asking my assistant to find my phone.
Yeah, I think it's good.
do it daily as well.
Yeah.
I updated that title to make it more SEO friendly for you.
Tell us what's the new title.
Google Assistant can now find / ring silence iPhones as Duplex expands to online food orders via blockchain.
In 5G.
In 5G. Profit.
On Verizon.
Actually, I think T-Mobile is better SEO than Verizon. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You do have to enable it, blah, blah, blah. But it does work even if the phone is silenced and do not disturb is enabled, which is kind of nice.
Handy.
Actually, that's going to be with the Google Home app. Then you could do that one. Duplex on the web. Duplex is that thing that was uncanny that they demonstrated 2 years ago at Google I/O, where you call you say, hey, you know who, call a restaurant, and it'll make it a reservation for you. You can also do that now with takeout.
My wife said that there was some story. I forgot to get the link from her that the majority of the calls are still made by human beings.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure they are. It's
Yeah,
yeah. That's Google
That's
for
a
you.
heck of a job.
That's Google in a nutshell.
Well, it also reminds me of that great Seinfeld episode in which Kramer was movie phone.
I love that. You're right. Now it makes me laugh just thinking about it. Hello, this is Movie Phone. Please state your movie. Meanwhile, Duplex on the web can help with takeout. You have to, first of all, the restaurant has to appear in the Google app. You'll make menu selections in the Google app. And then at the very end, in the final checkout process, there'll be a button to automatically navigate the site, fill out your contact and payment details. Wow. And synced Chrome autofill. Then a sheet will slide up. I'm just going to call the freaking restaurant. Then a sheet will slide up to walk you through the process. Oh my God, it's very complicated.
No, kids hate talking to people
That's
on
true.
the phone.
That's true.
This is for people who hate to talk.
It
Like
ain't
my
just
daughter
kids.
will do anything to avoid it.
Yes.
Actually,
I'm
it
the
drives
same
me-
way.
I love
I'd
to
rather
text.
not
No, I think that's
call in.
normal. My daughter
Okay.
refuses to text. She has to call, and it's like, Abby, you're 28. You're supposed to be texting. She's it hurts my thumbs. I think it's probably because her phone's the glass is almost always broken on the front, but that's another story.
Don't you have a spare one you could loan her?
I give her new phones regularly, Jeff. Regularly. But only after her fingers start getting cut. She says, I need a new phone now. Google is also making sunrise and sunset triggers in assistant routines available globally.
Those are nice.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, your lights, I like my lights to dim.
Yeah, Google was way late on the sunrise sunset, so this is good.
Yeah. I did that with my Hue lights 5 years ago. Android has an... This is April Fool's. No, it's not.
No. I put it in there.
Android has a new feature to save you future embarrassment called Heads Up. It will stop you from walking into telephone poles and other pedestrians.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I do that. I do that
so
not even when
questions
I'm not on my
this.
phone. I just do that because I'm looking at, like, I have
can't
pulled
help
the
you.
classic.
It can't help you with that. You have to be looking
It's only
at your
if you're
phone.
looking at your phone?
Yeah.
So
after you
let's
turn it
say
on-
this thing does not work. Who's going to start suing Google?
Yeah, Google.
Are we going to? Will we
Google's
see
very
that?
careful. It
It's
says
a little bit of an embarrassing suit, don't you think? I walked
Come on,
right into
really?
a telephone
This is
pole and
America.
Google didn't stop me.
This is America, the home of the
You're
ridiculous
supposed to
litigation. Come
stop
on.
me. I'll never forget when I was a kid. I got my drops in my eyes, so I saw blurry. And my sister,
dilation.
Yeah, dilation. So my sister was with me, so she said, "I'll walk you home." And she probably walked me right into a telephone pole.
Oh, siblings.
It really hurt. Okay.
Wow.
I'll never forget it. Had I had this digital well-being feature, it still wouldn't have helped because all the phone
You still
does
would have walked into
is
it.
periodically reminds you to keep your head up when you're walking.
Oh, I thought it would do something like, why can't you use solely to be like,
It should.
Hey,
That's a pole. It's a
should.
pole. No, all it does is if it notices you're both walking and using your phone, which is bad behavior, stop it. It will then say, "Hey, just don't walk in.
Cliff ahead.
Heads up."
Well, equally bad as people who stop walking to use their phone.
That's true.
When they're still.
If you haven't
Or just
yet,
walk slowly while using their
if
phone.
you haven't yet watched the
New
7-episode Fran Lebowitz series on Netflix, Pretend It's a City, that is actually the source of that title, Pretend It's a City. She says, I'm walking, and people are stopped. They're looking at their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Pretend it's a city.
Mm-hmm.
People are going somewhere and doing something. Have you seen this yet, Jeff?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, it's hysterical. You got Scorsese made it. It's a Scorsese documentary with Fran Lebowitz.
She
Pretend it's a
reminds
city.
me of like Lewis Black.
She is.
with her
She's that exactly
delivery.
that grumpy kind of. Yeah, she's grumpy, but she's right about everything.
Yep.
Lewis Black reminds you of her. She's been around forever.
That's probably.
Oh,
more
sorry.
likely. Yeah.
Sorry.
Ever.
Yeah.
She's not quite as hyped up angry as Louis Black.
No, she's reasonably angry. She's perfectly.
She reminds me of,
angry.
Jeff.
She's kind of like Jeff. Yeah.
Jeff, my mother.
I take that as a compliment, actually.
All of these people.
It may not be intended as one.
I can see
but I'm
Jeff
going to take it as one.
saying to the tourists in Manhattan, he's on his way to work. Pretend it's a city. I'm walking here.
I will say when I worked at Business Week, it was down in Times Square area, and every time I'd come out of the subway, I'd just be like, "I hate you all."
Yeah. Did they have the Elmos and the Das Nudas?
Yeah, this was 2000.
That's
Naked
Times Square
Cowboy.
proper.
Yeah.
This was just the subway station because I had to take the subway
6th Avenue.
station.
That's nothing. That's the suburbs.
I lived in Washington Square.
I had to avoid back in the day Elmos every day. I had to dodge them.
Oh, the Elmos.
You don't know where those
actually.
Elmos
What
have
you
been.
lived in Washington Square? I'm jealous. I love the Village. That is beautiful. That's a great.
It was nice.
Oh, I'm so
and
jealous.
if I could ever afford to do so again, I would.
Man, I would. If I could get Lisa to do it,
son.
I would do that in a minute. I love it. Google is shutting down both iOS and Android shopping apps. Add another Google app
Which has
to the
also
graveyard.
a little importance here. Even though the shopping will continue, Europe's first big antitrust effort against Google was shopping.
Right.
And I always made fun of it because Google's failed at shopping every time they've tried it.
Yeah, this is proof positive. You still can go to shopping.google.com.
Yeah, you can still do it.
But yeah, the apps are bye-bye. Bye-bye. As long as we're doing the Google Graveyard, we might have we need a new bumper. The Google Graveyard. Google's shutting down Play Movies and TV, the app, on Roku and LG, Samsung, and Vizio TVs in June. I don't get this. They were going to push you to YouTube instead. I guess you could buy it on YouTube instead, but it's not that Play Movies and TVs are going away. They're just not going to have an app for it.
Which kind of sucks, but
it's bizarre.
Okay.
It's bizarre. I don't get it.
They're also killing FeedBurner, aren't they?
Oh, no, really?
No, it is that. Hold on. Don't quote me on that.
Wait, a few weeks ago, we joked that we couldn't believe FeedBurner was still around and Ruth hadn't found it yet. It's our fault. We're sorry, FeedBurner. If it's dead, it's because we let them know it still existed.
Here's what happens.
Google's like,
Google announced. Google said it's moving FeedBurner to new infrastructure, but it's also deprecating its email subscription service. Oh,
okay, so it's got one foot in the grave.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
There you go.
Google, the company that kills things.
The Google I/O announcement, of course, as always is the case, was a great puzzle, which I think you could still do. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they've taken it away. They had a link on Sunday. It was really fun, punch cards and all that stuff. I hope you did it. Click the dot, though, because now there's a breakout game. Oh, remember Breakout?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was a good game.
You used to be able to play that on our TI-82 calculators.
Oh, I know. It's about the simplest game ever, which Google's demonstrating now. Oh,
where's Mr. Wozniak?
Donk. Yes, that's. Oh boy, that's a memory, and I'm impressed that you knew that. That's when Steve Wozniak finally realized Steve Jobs was not his friend. Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs was offered by Atari $5,000 to write a Breakout game. He couldn't code, so he went to his friend Steve Wozniak to write it, and told him, "Yes, Atari's going to pay us." I don't remember what it was, like $500,
$700,
$700, and he kept the difference.
Yeah, and everybody loves this company. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Woz for a long time would never say anything bad about Steve Jobs, but then when he found that out, it was like,
yeah, he didn't know for the longest.
Yeah. You son of a gun.
Talk about genuinely nice person. That's a genuinely.
Woz? Oh,
yeah.
Man,
yes,
I love Woz. Yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's still playing Breakout. Google Pay Spring Challenge offers you a $30 reward for using the new Google Pay app. Now, how much would you pay?
And I got that email, and I'm like, what are they talking about?
It's kind of complicated. You got to get 5 stamps during the spring challenge to get $30 deposited into your Google Pay balance. In other words, to get these stamps, you have to do things like tap to pay at a business or send payments to a friend, that kind of stuff. Some actions can only earn stamps once a day. Others can do it multiple times a day. You may also see a trivia pop-up from time to time as a chance to earn stamps. And of course, sharing invites to Google Pay can also
If you got to pay
stamps.
people to use your app,
That's pretty pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want $30 in Google credit, that's the way to do it. Did you want those oh-so-orange Pixel Buds? No, nobody did.
Wait a minute, why?
Nobody did.
they don't work.
Yeah. A, they don't work. B, they're ugly. So,
They're not ugly now. Hold on.
you don't
They're
think
not
that,
ugly.
Clemson orange, maybe I'm...
I did like the
matches
color.
with my skin tone.
yeah, it's orange Jeff. Or you could get the lime green ones for when you're not feeling too well. So they've been discontinued. So I'm sorry if you wanted them. And then somebody sneakily deleted whatever was the next.
It was funny.
The next change
Somebody
log.
said this is
He
my
actually
point.
sneakily promoted it before.
It got deleted. So that's the Google change log.
Oh, is that where it went? Did Jason move? Oh, I'm sorry, Jason.
Project Chip was in there.
He must have moved it from where I put it in the real section of the show.
It
But
worked.
Jason was like,
it's fine.
Stacy,
It's
your
good.
smart home love doesn't count.
It's good.
It was already in there.
Look at how he's making notes.
You promoted it through a green box. It was a green boxer.
So before the show, Jeff Jarvis was telling us that the world famous philosopher Steakums had tweeted a little takedown of world famous physicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. You want to share the story with us, Mr.?
No, you go ahead.
All right. I'll show you the original tweet from Neil deGrasse Tyson. The good thing, he said, about science is that it's true, whether or not you believe in it. To which Steakum, yes, I'm talking Steakum, the beef
frozen meat product
sandwich, to which Steakum tweets, the irony of Neil's tweet is that by framing science itself as true, he's influencing people to be more skeptical of it in a time of unprecedented misinformation. Science is an ever-refining process to find truth, not a dogma. No matter his intent, this message is not helpful.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
By the way,
epistemological Twitter, man.
Epistemological Twitter. Just to prove that Steakums is a actual frozen meat product sandwich, it didn't use punctuation or the caps key. Well, it used a little punctuation, but not all of it. It's weird. Sometimes there's a period, sometimes not. You decide.
I mean, there's quotations there.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand why they didn't bother with some stuff, but
It's
not
like
only are there
actual-
quotes, they're smart
It's actual
quotes. They're
shift key.
actually smart quotes. It's not even just your shift key. They got the innie quote and the outie quote. It's like, phew.
I've interviewed Steakum, otherwise known as Nathan Alabak. He's a very nice and very smart guy.
He also then said, "Log off, bro," to Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Neil deGrasse Tyson,
who is not as beloved as he used to be. Let's face it. Jaden C.
like
responded, based and epistemologically sound. And Jonathan said, thank you. The scientific method, by the way, he doesn't use caps either. The scientific method should never be afraid of challenge or skepticism. And then Seamus Blackley says, keep rolling, my brother. Meanwhile, more tweets. Twin sisters reunited at 92 after vaccinations. Toast first dinner out with scotch and water.
Oh.
No.
Why did Twitter think that was relevant?
Yeah. Let's see.
By the way, I had
Yes.
this. So, to me,
To you.
just speaking for me,
Just speaking for steak.
proper cheesesteak should have cheese and steak and grilled onions.
No peppers.
Wrong.
God, no, and no mushrooms.
You
no.
lost me.
Mushrooms.
You got to have the mushrooms and peppers.
You've
with
got
it.
to have the mushrooms. And you
No.
know what?
No, that's
I'll go
not a
one
cheesesteak.
further. One further. little bit of ranch dressing.
Oh no, that's definitely
now
right.
you're done. You're done.
That's like a
Controversial,
cheesesteak
I
from
know.
a Holiday Inn.
Where could you get ranch dressing in a cheesesteak shop?
Oh, come on, Miss Stacy. I was with you. till
Stacy.
then.
It's delicious.
So
You are never making
cheese,
fun of my
onions.
cacio e pepe again. Never. You have
I
revealed
never make
yourself.
fun of it. I just worry that you're going to die. I love cacio e pepe. Okay.
just in moderation is what she's saying.
Right.
So you're right.
What is
According to
allowed-
the stayatHomeChef.com, the Philly cheesesteak, traditional Philly cheesesteak is thinly sliced ribeye, cheese, onions, and a delicious hoagie roll.
Period.
But I do-
Period.
Period.
Full stop.
Now,
Now you can add your
Okay.
own mustard.
have you
which is,
ever
I think, a good thing to do.
had a cheesesteak from Pat or Gino's? Do you?
Oh yeah.
Which do you prefer? Are you a Pat's guy or a
I
Gino's
forget.
guy?
I forget. That's a fight, and I'm a New Yorker. I don't care about Philly fights. That's,
Right.
You know, that's the.
And of course, it has to be an
Consolation prize.
Amoroso roll, or you're not nothing. I have had. I can't remember which I had, but when we were in Philly, I said we gotta have. We're at whatever it was, Pat's. I think it was Pat's. We gotta have a cheesesteak. I love cheesesteaks, but I confess I might sometimes have peppers on my cheesesteak, not mushrooms, and definitely not ranch.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
No.
Any other stories we want
hold on here.
to
Let's see what else
talk
we can
about?
Drive me crazy. Coinbase, 102 B valuation.
102 billion bitcoins.
Yeah.
Now that would be something.
Did you buy the stock with Bitcoin?
Did you put this in from the Intelligencer? Confessions of an Overnight Millionaire?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's as somebody said, it's a real white story. Now we don't know who it is. It's anonymous, but it's I just happened to make $6 million. Oh gosh, I don't know what I'll do with this. And what my response was that it's the best justification I've seen for taxation ever.
Oh,
Yeah, if it really scares you that you made a lot of money in your IPO, give it to the government. It's okay. It's not wrong.
Yeah.
They'll make good use of it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm never going to read that article ever. That just make
irritated me.
They just
I read
they make me mad. Those articles.
Yeah, it made me mad.
Yeah.
It made me mad.
I'm really rich, and man, it's just not as easy as you think it might be. Screw you, buddy.
Yeah.
The heck with you.
but that's how they get clicks.
You could give it to me.
Clicks.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to devil's advocate here since I'm on a roll with my ranch.
Do it.
There are notable issues with people who become wealthy overnight, like lottery
all the time,
winners.
lottery winners.
Oh yeah, I recognize that.
But don't go complaining about it.
Well, I mean,
By the way,
I think
Stacy,
sudden influences.
the chat room has a question for you.
Uh-oh.
If you like ranch, do you like cranch?
Oh no, I looked that up and that almost caused me to vomit into my mouth. That is disgusting.
It combines, show this, John, the delicious taste of classic
my
ketchup
gosh.
plus ranch.
This is why there's a ketchup shortage because they used it
Like
for that
cocktail
crap.
sauce, basically,
No, that
right?
is not. No, cocktail sauce is horseradish and ketchup, and that is delicious.
Oh, I love horseradish.
Yeah, horseradish. That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Sorry.
I'm like, hold on now.
So
We cannot be
That's Thousand
disparaging the
Island
cocktail
dressing.
sauce.
I do
Thousand Island
happen.
dressing is the two of them plus relish.
Yeah, the thing about ranch is the ranch you buy in a bottle.
Oh no, there's this store. There's this place here, this restaurant.
Yeah,
It's
they
called
make their
Hitchcock,
own?
and they make their own ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, and they actually sell it. That's how good it is. Like
Yeah.
I will buy
Nice.
their ranch to put on my cheesesteaks.
No.
There's a guy I know. He's got this TikTok channel where he makes his own ranch dressing and homemade and shows you how to make it.
Fucking garbage.
He
I don't
says-
know why, but it always is. And restaurant ranch is way better. So for this, it's equal parts mayonnaise.
Too bad his
sour
dad
cream,
can't play the
herbs
sound
are
well.
texture, whiskey and buttermilk, so you get the right consistency.
Is he a Cylon?
That's what he sounds like. What are you talking about?
If Dad still had his Chromebook there, it'd be fine.
What are you talking
Oh
about?
man.
We're gonna fit. The editors will fix this in post.
And use canned artichoke hearts and dry them off and coat them with flour in a big bag. For the batter, combine
Wait,
half a
I
cup
think it's
of
better if he
egg,
sounds like
half
that,
a
to be
cup of
honest with you.
buttermilk, parsley, dill, real seasoning, and garlic powder.
This
He
cat
made
is
this
cooking.
this is a TikTok
And the
fried
batter,
pickles
coat the whole thing
and
in
artichoke
panko
hearts with
breadcrumbs,
homemade
and
ranch
they're ready to
dressing.
fry at
I love
He
fried
also says, I'm
pickles.
proclaiming Hidden Valley Ranch as
or
my
some
number
other
one
kind of
TikTok
neutral
enemy.
oil, and those are good to go.
That's awesome.
So
Like
Hidden
fried
Valley
foods with
figured out
ranch?
your ranch
Oh,
is
look at that.
trash.
That does
Did he
look
just
good.
eat that entire?
He ate a fried
Okay,
pickle with
so
ranch. That's probably what gave him COVID. I don't know, but
So this takes us back to the story about. See, I think you actually love TikTok. Back up online. This will piss you off because I used the line number. 79.
Stacey, where
It's a
should I
lovely
look
little
for
story.
that?
Wait, what?
Never
The
mind.
TikTok thing?
I just think it's better when you say it.
Oh, the line number. I'm sorry. I didn't pay attention to the line. I just ignore them.
Am I spending
ignores
too
me.
much time on TikTok? Asks Vox. It's the world's most delightful and powerful dissociation machine.
So she argues here, Rebecca Jennings, that it is a wellness app in and of itself because it distracts you and takes you away and is full of delight.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on your algorithm.
All I know is
that's nice stuff.
if you scroll long enough on TikTok, they actually put up a TikTok that says go to bed.
Yeah.
And I keep hitting that. And I keep on scrolling. Just saying.
Leo, if you do me a favor, look up Laufey, Laufey on TikTok. This young woman amazes me.
I by the way, in this article, I finally found out that you have to scroll for more than an hour to get that to happen.
You get that?
LAU on TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok. Laufey.
You're just doing that to give me a hard time on my sound because now I can't listen.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Oh, jeez, it's music.
Laufy?
Fey.
Fey. Okay.
I think she's a college student. Her voice is like from 19.
Oh, we'll never know, will we? Because
We'll never
Leo
know 'cause you
has.
messed it
All right,
up.
let me just go on the command line real quick. You made me do it.
Poor Stacy's never going to eat. It's going to take Leo 5 hours to
All right,
fix this.
we're going to take a break.
All right.
And while I edit my conf files, and in a moment we're going to have some picks. What do you think? How about that? Mm-hmm. Picks of the week coming up. Punter Joe in the chat room saying no.
What if one of us played the audio and you just don't get the video with it?
I can fix
Latency.
No, now you're questioning his geek
I can
manhood,
fix it.
Stacy.
I know, but
I
you
can
know
fix
what?
this.
I mean, people get hungry, y'all.
No. In fact,
He's not going to do it today.
it's time for the picks of the week, and let's kick it off with Stacey.
Because this is not a democracy. You see, I tried.
I will tell you, Jeff, that she does have a lovely voice.
She's an amazing voice.
All right, I'll play
She's
it.
like a crooner.
I'll play it later. I just have to do some
she
editing.
is.
Okay, go ahead, Stacey. Your pick of the week. Your thing. You showed us before the show some sort of boxy thing.
Wait, what?
It's you. Pick of the week time.
Well, no, I know that. I'm just like a boxy thing.
Well, what was it? Oh, no, you showed us the stickers. That's right. Never mind.
Oh, I was like,
That's what it
no,
was.
this week I gave you a choice between a thing or a book. So
Yes, that's what it was. I'm sorry. My memory's going.
that's okay. You had a COVID shot.
I had the
and
COVID
That's going to make
shot.
you feel funny.
Yeah, I feel funny.
I'm giving y'all a book of the week. It's actually a book and audiobook combined. I love a woman named Amber Ruffin. She cracks me up. I think she is delightful. I want to be her best friend. This has nothing to do with tech. And she has a book out, and I'm going to tell you the actual name of it.
She just got a new show too, not too long ago.
I know. Okay, you'll never believe what happened to Lacey. Crazy stories about racism. And she's a comedian. She's on Seth Meyers' show. She has a segment called Amber Says What. Just Google it. You'll crack up. Or not. Maybe you won't. And the book is basically her and her sister Lacey, who lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Lacey experiences racism all the time. And some of these stories, and Amber, because she's a comedian, it's funny, but it's also freaking tragic. Like just hearing this, it is like a constant drip drab. So if you're a person who is like, I make fun of microaggressions, because I know lots of people who are like, I don't understand this. Just just do us all a favor and just read the book or listen to it. I have it on audio tape. It's funny, but there are also images in the book. So, if you want the book, do that.
Where's the podcast? Because I'd love to take a listen to that. Do you know what the name? Anybody knows?
Podcast.
No, it's not a podcast. It's a show on Peacock.
Oh, it's a show on Peacock.
It's a late night show. But if you go to YouTube, you can see her. I mean,
what's her name again?
From her show, Amber
Ruffin. Ruffin.
I got it. Amber says, what?
That's her thing on Seth Meyers' show. And then she has her own show on Peacock.
How about Texas just don't give a hoot?
Lifted the mask mandate and allowed businesses to reopen at 100% capacity.
You might ask, why would they do such a thing when scientists are against it? When doctors or nurses are begging us
I think we're gonna have to
hold
beep
on
her
just a
answer,
little bit
aren't we?
longer. Simple.
'Cause Texas rocks! Took one brave governor to decree he cares about Texas and he'll set us free. If people have to die for my liberty, then my governor says so be it.
It's been too long, I've had enough. I won't wear a mask cause I don't give up. If you think I'm wrong, you can kiss my butt. It's time to celebrate our freedom. Lift your mask.
So would you, as a former resident of Texas, endorse this philosophy?
I would.
Yes.
No, I endorse her making fun of it. Yes.
Yeah. Amber
hoping
Ruffin,
the
that's
chorus
awesome.
would be "Suck It Up."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And who is the TikTok? Because I want to try that again. TikTok.com. Because look, how Amber sounded normal, right?
That was YouTube, though, sir.
Laufey.
Why? Yes, Laufey.
Laufey.
Yes, Laufey.
No, you've got it wrong. LAU.
Google. Use the thing called Google.
Google Laufey.
TikTok Laufey.
TikTok. Here it is. I see it now. Pronounced LaVey.
So go down. No, fine. So go down.
Which one do you want to hear? Which
go
one?
to that one where your cursor is. That one. For example.
This one. It's really kind of sad. I love my Monday moments. Oh, wait a minute. I have to. One more thing I have to do. I did fix it, but I've got to. Oh, no. It is coming out. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
Yeah, we hear it.
I told you she was a crooner.
Yes, she is.
I go to the symphony, sit alone.
So you go through TikTok and you get these little moments of joy, like
you see great stuff. Okay,
yeah,
that's enough. Stop.
That's all. It's enough.
Stop.
It's enough.
Please stop. Jeff, your number of the week.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Oh, shit. I'm not. Oh, shoot. I'm not. Sorry, John. Well, we could. I want to plug Neerit, our friend Neerit Weisblatt, who was on the show when Stacey was left us alone.
Yes.
She did because her book is so expensive. She did an essay summarizing it, and it's in Tech Dirt. They were nice enough to run it, so you can go to Tech Dirt and see her piece on how Donald Trump caused the tech lash. But that's not my number. Nor is it that 1 out of 11 stores are expected to close in the next 5 years.
Ooh,
Nor is it that Larry and Sergey have joined the $100 billion club. I want to get mad about how Americans rate states.
What?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You can all go F yourselves, America. Jersey is not 48.
Oh, is Washington number one? Is one of the is this that survey?
Washington's not number one.
Who's rating the states? Who's doing the rating?
I don't know, but whoever they are, they're a bunch of
We should
dorks,
mention that's
and
where
they should never come to my
what's
state.
his name lives. Yeah. What? Really?
Oh, man.
Jersey 48.
Is there a link? Is there
It's
a
more
link?
like 46, Mr. Jarvis.
Is there a
It's more
link?
like 46.
There are how many states?
Yo, what? There. What's
So this
what's
is some
the
guy.
number one state?
This is from YouGov.
Oh, you're being a smart ass too, Ant.
YouGov.com. The rest respondents, we don't know who, were asked to choose the better of two states from a list of 50. Oh, it was like a head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
And Washington D.C. Okay, Hawaii number one, then Colorado, Virginia, Nevada, North Carolina. That's where you're from, Aunt Pruitt, North Kakalaki.
North Cac.
Florida, Arizona, New
Florida's
York.
number 6. What does it take? Florida filled with Florida mans is number 6.
Florida's quite a nice state. It's a nice state. I like Florida. Georgia, Texas, Maine, California, Alaska, and
Not
then way
till
down on the
12.
other side, the worst place in the world, Washington, D.C., then Alabama, Mississippi, and 48, New Jersey. New Jersey's worse than 47 other states, Jeff.
That's what New Jersey has to say to you.
Rhode Island's smack dab in the middle, number 25. That's where I grew up. South Kakalaki, strangely, is much lower than North Kakalaki. Why would that be, Ann? You were born in South Kakalaki. You want to defend it?
Yeah, and they are definitely two different states. I can attest to that.
That's why you moved
Definitely
north.
Two different states. Yeah, not really.
Oh.
They're one and the same, but they're definitely two different states.
Two
I'll
different
say that.
states. All right. What do you? I'm sorry. TikTok keeps playing. I'm trying to stop it.
Well, now that you finally got that working,
Now that it's working, I can't stop playing TikTok. I'm actually trying to find my favorite TikTok singer, who is an Israeli woman who has an amazing voice, and I don't remember her handle, unfortunately. So I'll see if I can find her. Go ahead, Ant, with your pick of the week.
Oh, well, I got a couple. The first one is as I wrote on the line there, I'm not against guns, but Pat Barnes sums it up quite nicely. Pat Barnes is a cartoonist or illustrator. If you go to that link, kagol.com, it's a pretty topical image that he's got there.
But you say you are not against guns, so why would you promote this anti-gun cartoon?
Well, because of the context of what's recently happened, I believe it was this past Sunday with Dante Wright.
It's not that you're against guns, it's you're against people getting shot by guns, which I am against as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the police officer, in quotes, accidentally shot Dante Wright because he thought he was getting his taser and he killed him. He has since resigned.
Killed him. Yeah. In fact, if you watch the video, she goes, "Oh my God, I shot him." She clearly didn't expect it to have a bullet in it.
They've since resigned, and I believe there's now charges of second-degree manslaughter.
It's such a sad story, and so close, of course, to where George Floyd was murdered.
Right, which that trial was going on at the same time when this happened. But
the cartoon shows an officer angry with his gun pulled on, of course, a black driver with a little pine tree air freshener. The officer is saying, "I'm worried that air freshener might be obstructing your visibility." Meanwhile, a guy with 4 guns in his rack trying to pick up drives on by. Yeah.
And being from South Cac and North Cac, I saw that image all the time. These gun racks. It's just normal kind of thing to see there. But then I also
to be fair, gun racks don't usually obstruct your visibility. So
they don't obstruct your forward.
That's true. You can't look over. You can't look over your shoulder.
Right. Your rearview mirror is kind of occluded by guns.
Exactly.
And that's how I like it. All right.
But no, I'm not against guns because, I remember having a nice heated discussion with a bunch of the people in the Twitterverse about taking my kids, the hardheads, to a gun range back when they were really, really young. People calling me a horrible parent, yada, 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 yada.
That's exactly what you should do. Teach them
right. I
guns.
wanted them to see the power of a firearm.
Take it seriously.
To respect it.
Exactly.
And they enjoyed it, and the whole family had a good time, but they learned, this is real stuff. This isn't Call of Duty, and Xbox and whatnot.
I did the same thing with Henry. We went to a rifle range with 22s. They weren't, big old guns, but we had a South African drill instructor who was great, because if you pointed your gun anywhere but where it was supposed to be pointed,
supposed to go down range,
you would hear about it.
That's
he was fabulous. Fabulous former South African commando, so you could tell how scary he was.
My kids will never ever forget that, and they still talk about that.
Yeah, good.
So I did something right there at least.
Yeah,
but and with all of that said, I also put in there that peaceful and hopeful, and it's just an image from the peaceful protests from last year, because seeing the image from Mr. Barnes just made me think about the protests that the family and we all attended last year.
Oh, there
just
you
how
are.
Peaceful.
There you are. That's the hard head, one of the hard heads to your left, and that's Ant in the middle with the backpack and the queen.
So we just I remember experiencing that and just we were all warm on the inside because we never assumed it would be such a peaceful.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
people are on their knees, their hands up in many cases.
Had a police escort and everything. It was just, it was great.
Welcome to Northern California.
It was great.
I remember your son's sign said "No peace," KNOW peace,
right?
KNOW justice. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
no justice, no peace. And lastly, this is for you, Mr. Jarvis. The reason I recently fired up TikTok. If I don't know if that video was playable.
You've gotten the bug. You like musicals. I know.
The Real Houseplants of Sonoma County. Wait a minute. I gotta listen to this. Oh my gosh. Is this?
That is Queen Pruitt.
I was gonna say, is this Queen?
Wow.
Yeah.
Does she make these? Where does she get these? These are great.
She's been hand painting those.
She makes them?
Those. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're beautiful.
Oh, great.
I told her launch a TikTok page.
I want them.
I will follow it.
Go.
She's got a customer. Lisa and I would love one of these.
And try to boost your signal. And of course, now I'm on TikTok and I absolutely hate it.
Oh, they are beautiful.
Yeah, she's gotten a couple orders this week. So she's
PHEEBS Phoebes JP14.
Let's repeat that again so people get it.
Phoebes PHEEBS JP14. And I love the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills music to go along with it. That's hysterical. That's great.
But she's been working pretty hard on that. It's been part of her, I guess you can say, mental peace. During
that was your video all about it.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched it, I was like, that's why he was so excited about the cheap grow light.
Yeah. You got it.
No, but this is clearly. I love this because it's clearly art.
It's therapeutic,
but it's also therapeutic. Yeah, painting like this and
fun.
Stuff. Yeah. Where does she get the pots? I want that. Those pots are hysterical.
Yeah, she's ordering them from wherever. I'm not sure where she's getting them from, but she strips them down and she's got all of these paints everywhere. And
fun.
In the
Phoebe's
garage,
a very talented nail artist. She's done my nails, so she has already the fine hand and the line and all that stuff. And this is great.
I told her I give her some credit on that because I can't do that. But talking about TikTok, I never liked it because when I go to it, this is the first stuff I see is that. And then whatever this is.
A lot of women in bikinis dancing, and that bothers me too. I kind of agree with
I don't see
you.
that.
It goes from that, and then it goes from all of the racism stuff, and it's just not a great experience.
You're getting racist stuff on your TikTok?
People arguing against racism and people going back and forth about racism. One person saying this is racist, one person saying that's not racist. And I keep scrolling, and I remember when I set it up, I said that my interests are photography. That's all that I tapped. And I get all.
I don't blame you. That's
how the hell does that happen?
I created my account and I put in some old videos that I've done just to try to see if it'll help the signal, and not so much because that's still some stuff that I've done previously.
No, that's not good.
And it just ain't working. So I only jumped on there because of her, just to try to help boost her signal. Because she's I'm proud of her and she's doing her thing.
Yeah, good for you. And good for you, Phoebe. We love those. I will buy some. Just,
That will definitely excite her.
Yeah. That's really cool. Oh, okay, I'll play one more since now I can get it working. This is who you should follow, Jeff, if you like singing on TikTok. Her name is Liel Barzi or Barzed. And she just sings a cappella, and I think she's a very beautiful singer.
I could look you in the eye.
Yeah, I've seen her.
You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me.
Well, this one's not a cappella. Somebody's playing the guitar in the background, but most of her stuff is a cappella, and she's kind of incredible. I don't think she's a professional.
It's raining. Talking to myself and feeling.
Oh, you can't go wrong with a little Carpenter's music, can you?
Sometimes I like to quit.
We're dating ourselves, Gramps.
Yeah.
Nothing ever seems to fit.
All right. Hey, it's a rainy day. and a Wednesday. And it's time for me to say goodbye to our beautiful panel here. Thank you very much, Stacey Higginbotham. Find her at StaceyOnIoT.com. And make sure you sign up for a free newsletter. Check out the events. There's always something going on at Stacey on IoT. And, of course, the fabulous podcast. Oh, wow, now we're making candy. I'm sorry, the TikTok just never ends, does it? StaceyOnIoT.com. Then, of course, the IoT podcast with Kevin Toffel. I can't stop watching this guy at Logan's Candies. He just keeps making candy. Oh, stop. Mr. Jeff Jarvis. You know who he is. He is the director of the Townite Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Frank Sinatra called him a bum, former TV guide critic. Thank you, Mr. J. Buzzmachine.com for his blog.
So you're not going to tell us what this announcement is you teased everybody for.
It's going to be Sunday, I'll tell you. Sunday.
So Twit gets the announcement instead of Twig.
The reason I was gonna is there's technical things we've got to figure out and solve. There've been some delays, and I don't want to launch it until it's really ready to go.
All right.
So it's my new TikTok sing-along channel.
You're not supposed to say it yet, dude. Really?
I know what it is. It's Twit the Musical.
Twit the Musical.
Aunt Pruitt.
Starring Aunt Pruitt. He's the host of Hands-On Photography. Twit.tv/hop. And he's just a smiling face around the studio. We love having you here. I saw you this morning. It was great to say. I didn't say hi because COVID, man. COVID. I kept moving.
We do it distance.
I gave you a long-distance fist bump like that.
That's right.
Like that. Thank you, everybody. We do, for joining us, we do Twig this week in Google every Wednesday, about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. I say the live time so you can watch it live if you want. The live streams, and there are both audio and video streams at twit.tv/live. If you're watching live, chat live, irc.twit.tv. After the fact, you can download episodes from our website, twit.tv/twig. All of them, some 600-something episodes are there, going all the way back to the earliest days of This Week in Google more than 10 years ago. Now, if you want to always get the new one, there's a YouTube channel. You can click that and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's also a plain old RSS feed, or you can click on your favorite podcast client and subscribe iTunes or Google Podcasts or Pocket Casts, et cetera, et cetera. If your favorite podcast client allows reviews, please give us a 5-star review for all the singing. We would appreciate that. If you are listening to a download or watching a download and you still want to interact, we have forums at www.twit.community. They're great. Love them. We also have a Mastodon instance, twit.social. So if you want to find a Twitter clone that's federated and I think a lot more beautiful, I highly recommend it. You're welcome to visit me. I'll be there at twit.social. That's my address right down there. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next week on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.
You know what's fun? Android. You know what's even more fun, though? All About Android. That's my show, Jason Howell, along with my co-hosts Ron Richards, Florence Ion, and we welcome guests on each and every week from throughout the Android ecosystem, developers, Googlers, journalists, people who are all geeked out about the Android operating system. We tell you everything you need to know. twit.tv/AAA every Tuesday. We'll see you there.
This is what you call a honeymoon. Pacing around our separate rooms, running from our elaborate ruse. We're doomed.
Daphne.
Please forgive me your grace. Can't even look me in the face, and now I must lie in the mess you made.
The mess we
It
made.
was your mistake. You kissed me in the
I was
face.
prepared to take my life.
I stole your fate.
These guys are good.
I stole your
No,
fate.
I stole your fate.
Wow.
And now you're forced to love a man you hate.
So the story is that even though Netflix didn't really authorize this TikTok musical, They like it a lot. Standing ovation for Abigail Barlow and Nick T. Daly. They sound good. They sound really good.